Welcome to Wednesday Night Live from the Basement. Here's your hosts, Rob, Daryl, and Joe.
And for the first time in a month, we got the band back together.
We do.
Joe is back. Daryl is back. And our guest, Tim. How you guys doing tonight?
Good.
Thanks to everyone tuning in. Right now, we're up against the debut of this week's episode of the New Heights podcast featuring Taylor Swift, which currently 1.4 million people are watching the premiere of on YouTube.
Yeah.
So, that may detract from our audience a little bit tonight.
Yeah, pardon my ignorance. What is this? I swear to God, what are you talking
know who
about?
Taylor Swift is?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, her boyfriend, Travis, and his brother have a podcast called the New Heights Podcast.
Oh, okay.
I guess it's the biggest podcast, like the most popular podcast in the world. And they drop new episodes every Wednesday at 7 p.m.
Oh, okay.
Well, tonight is the first time that she has ever appeared on the podcast. It's the first time that two of them have ever had a public conversation about their relationship and whatever the fuck else they talk about. So it's the live premiere is on right now. My wife's watching. It's like 1.4 million people are watching it on YouTube. So it's going to take, probably half our viewers, I think, tonight.
That's right. But they're going to have a new album to talk about, I guess, eh?
Yep.
Did she give a date? I mean, I know she said she's got something coming, but I don't know if it's this year, next year, when it is.
October the 3rd.
Oh, okay. So it's done or done-ish. And yeah.
It's called The Life of a Showgirl.
Might be able to sell a couple of those at the shop, probably.
You probably pretty safe to say if you ordered some of those, they'd go.
Just depends on how many color variants she comes up with.
Well,
this
so
time.
far there's only one. There's 4 CDs, but only one vinyl. So
yeah, so far.
Tim, you're gonna have to be on the prowl for an autograph.
Taylor Swift?
Yeah.
No, I'm good.
I got a few Taylor autographs. There's one
Well,
right there. I got
when
one
she
right there.
came, off her
And then
website.
I got another one right there. And then I got another one right there. And I think I got one more somewhere else. I've never met her, though. But
I bought a collection. Well, it depends how many you consider to be a collection. I bought 30 records the other day, and there was a Valdi record in there, and it's autographed. It says, I'm going to assume that it's real. I don't know who's going to fake a Valdi autograph, but I'm pretty sure it's real. So now I've got Sharon Lois and Bram, Raffi, Valdi, and I think Fred. Yeah, I think it is actually.
Oh, wow.
Fred.
I was just joking.
No, I think it is actually. There's 4. I can't remember, but Raffi. Yeah, I think it is Fred. There was some it wasn't all in this same one. This one just had the Valdi in it, but yeah.
Mr. Dress Up. What was his actual name?
Mr. Dress Up was
Fred.
Ernie something.
Oh, Ernie Combs.
Yeah. Yeah.
No relation to Sean Combs, thankfully.
Thank Christ. Yeah, exactly. So.
Richard, welcome. How you doing?
Hello,
Apparently,
Richard.
we are way funnier than the Kelsey brothers, but none of us are as attractive as Taylor is. So,
No.
Record down. Good evening. How you doing? So it's been ages since we were all back together.
Yeah.
Daryl did not get eaten by a bear on his foolhardy camping expedition, and that went well.
Closest I came was to a couple of raccoons. That's the closest.
We had one in our garbage can the other night. My wife wakes me up at like 4:00 in the morning. There's a raccoon in the garbage can. And I go, what do you want me to do about it? You want me to go out at 4:00 in the morning and wrestle a raccoon? I said, when I wake up in the morning, I bet you it'll be gone. And it was. So
If there is a family of raccoons there consistently night after night after night after night, you worry about it. If you have a raccoon every once in a while, have at it, buddy. Just don't make a mess. Just don't make a mess. That's all. It's like the vagrants that come by in the back alley at the shop. I don't care if you go through the garbage, but just don't make a mess when you're done. Just
the nerve.
Right. So.
Exactly. So you're camping, Daryl. That was like real rugged wilderness, like in a tent in a national park, not like Joe camping where you take a luxury trailer.
No, it was in a tent for close to 3 straight weeks.
And this is fun for you, or
We don't mind it. We don't mind it.
wow.
Actually, you know what made it really good is that the entire time, minus 2 hours, there was no rain.
That's good.
In the rain, I didn't take them down in the rain. There was no rain.
Well, that's good.
So have you got a more modern, or have you got an old canvas tent, like one of them 3-room dealies, or what do you got?
I've got a woods one that we bought a couple of years ago, and it has a curtain goes down the middle. So the boys have their own side, we got our own side.
Good.
And it takes about, I don't know, 20 minutes to set up, maybe.
Yeah.
If me and the wife aren't fighting over the poles.
Yeah. Then it takes maybe 40, maybe 45-ish, something like that. I like tent camping. Now, yeah, as Rob said, I was glamping for the last 7-8 years, but I'd still throw up a tent and camp somewhere. But Rob might open a window. That might be about the closest he ever gets.
Actually, what I dislike more than camping is the idiots that drive on the 400 series highways. That's what I can't stand.
I'm used to it.
Yeah.
Did I step in any bear poop? No, I didn't step in any bear poop, but my son was freaking out because somebody let their dog out for a walk at one of the parks, I think at 2 a.m, and it shit behind my tent, right beside his window.
That's fantastic.
That sounds like it was planned, maybe.
That's fantastic. That's a camping equivalent of, dog shitting on your lawn, and then you take it and put it in a bag and put it on their porch.
Back on their porch. Yeah, exactly. That's right.
Yep. So
when I returned, before you guys talk, before I showed Joe this, but upon my return, I got a pretty decent deal. I finally got my Grail. It was here when I got back in the mail, and
hold on. Here we go.
Finally got this.
I searched.
Man.
Finally came in.
Right on. I did look at any of the shops I went in.
And Richard, don't keep score. We're not going to be talking about Glass Tiger and Brian Adams today.
Nope.
We might
I
be.
don't think.
Well,
We might be.
Maybe we should keep score. Richard, what's one for Glass Tiger?
I did look though, Daryl. I looked there. I didn't go to a lot of shops, but I did try and get to a few, and I did look, but I did not find it. So that's awesome. I'm glad that you found it.
I was looking. I think there's only 2 pressings of it. That one's a European pressing, and I think there's an Italian pressing. I think that's it.
That's it, eh? Yeah. Yeah, there's a few like that where they were still making them in Spain or something in like 92. You can find some stuff that you can't find any North American pressings of.
Well, that's where I ordered it. That's where I ordered it from, was Spain, and it was like the grading that she gave me on it. It's way lower than that grading would suggest. Like, she talked about the cover being all beat up and stuff. I've seen way worse covers than the one I got.
Yeah, well, that's good. Yeah,
So that's good.
I mean, I've said it before. I never do anything online. I mean, I've bought some, but I've never sold any online because I just think that argument could be such a pain in the ass. And I'm sure after a while it becomes less of a pain in the ass. But if I was about to, I'd probably do the same thing. I'd say, look, if we're going to grade it in the grading scales that are out there, this is good. And this is how much I'm going to charge you. If you're good, that it's good at this dollar amount, knowing that when it gets there, they're going to go, well, that's much better than good. But I'd rather have them agree, okay, I'll take good at this dollar amount, and away you go. So,
Yeah.
Tim,
yeah.
our constant friend, you meet any giant famous people since the last
No,
time?
it's been a lull here. I'm not out until I'm on the fence. There's still tickets. I'm presuming there are going to be tickets for a little bit, but Bob Wiseman.
I was going to ask if you made up your mind about that.
He's playing with who's the current Blue Rodeo player?
Oh, Richard, now you got to update the score.
Mike,
Tim said the word.
Yeah, I know.
Michael Boguski.
Yeah, so him and Bob are playing a show together.
I contemplated having Wiseman included here in our Wankers episode because he's a colossal asshole.
Yeah, so I was gonna do an honorary on behalf of, because just from what you told me, but
All right.
Yeah. So I'm debating going to him at the end of the month.
You know what? I'm gonna add him to my list. I think those are stories I'm allowed to share. I think. Yeah, I don't think there's nothing in there that I'm not allowed.
No
to
restrictions.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
but it's been pretty quiet. Otherwise,
Yeah.
Hello.
you're in Ottawa. But
Good evening, Leslie.
I got vacation coming up, and
Nice.
I've been busy kind of rehashing my Beatles. My Beatles and Mono box came in. I saw Richard's last week.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's had any issues with his, but I've got some minor issues.
He had an
with
issue
mine.
that the White Album cover was not glued.
Yeah,
properly.
and I've got. I should open it up, but Please Me has. Oh man, hold on. Oh,
All
give
right.
me a second.
All right.
It's in really bad shape. Like I don't know if I should try to get it replaced.
I would.
Yeah.
Rich, how you doing? When they started buying records from the quickly, good means not very good. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but what I'm
For the most
saying,
part,
to
definitely.
clarify, I don't think you didn't understand, but what I'm saying is that mine are going to be, if I was to sell, would be better than good, but I would put them at that. So no one could ever go,
you would grade them worse than they are, so you exceed the people's expectations and not the other way around.
100%.
Right.
That's the way that's the way I'd do it anyway. Just
Yeah.
I would think to cause less grief. Now, you're probably going to still get someone bitch
So-
about stuff, but
Let me supersize you here, Tim. Hold on.
Just some quality control issues for sure here. Like if you look,
Hold on.
like you got glue.
StreamYard is giving me problems again tonight.
glue on the run out by the looks of it.
Yeah, it's all, and you can see see on the bottom.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's all glue there. And then on
Yeah.
the flip side, on I saw her standing there. Look at the bottom again.
Yeah.
Right there.
Oh,
Do you see that at the bottom?
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that really happy scratch there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be reaching out to whomever.
Look at that.
Yeah. That's not cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
that's not
plays, it plays, but so it doesn't skip, but
Yeah, but you
there's
didn't
little
pay
things like that.
you didn't pay $50 for that set, so
Yeah.
it's a different story, right? So, and yes, Richie, I get it. I just wanted to clarify in case others didn't. So,
Would never say you're dumb,
It's
Rich.
crappy.
Okay.
I gotta replace these things.
we've still got the 2014. We've still got that set. I also have left it at the price that I priced it at, which was $2,000 for the
Yeah.
2014. So, which is up there, but I think that's still a fair price for it because that set that we've got at the shop, I don't know that it's been opened. Some of them have been opened. Some of them I don't believe have. The book's sealed still. The case, everything, the sleeve, the cover is all in fantastic shape. So we'll see. I don't know. If someone came in tomorrow and said 1,500, I'm sure the boss would think about it. But
Yeah.
we've got
Do
it.
you know
at
what
we've
do you
got
know
it
what the 20 do you know what this set's running for now? I didn't even check.
at. I don't know because they're sold out as well, right? So yeah, I don't know if they're up above $1,000 or not. I haven't looked, so I don't know. So
I love Record Hound's comment here. For records in poor shape, he uses the rating FF for fuck safety.
that's right.
I like that.
Yep.
We've all got some of those.
We do. Yep.
Oh, Rob,
Yeah.
look what came in like 2 hours ago.
There it is. I still got to
I got-
order mine.
Did you got
Oh,
some?
Richard, you got to add it to the score again.
Yeah.
Drink up
Add it
Blue
to the
Rodeo.
score.
This is twice that band's been brought up and not by me, and we're
Not
only
by you,
14
though, yeah.
minutes in. Did you buy the glass too?
Yeah.
There you go. I gotta do that. So, for
Which I
anyone-
would have missed out on if you didn't tell me.
See, there you go. For anyone that, what the hell is Tim talking about? Blue Rodeo, my favorite band. They're embarking on their 40th anniversary tour starting next month across Canada. And to commemorate their 40th anniversary, Mill Street, which is a brewery in Toronto, has come up with a commemorative 40th anniversary Blue Rodeo beer. Cool. I don't drink beer. I don't give a shit, but I'm going to buy some anyway, and the wife can drink it. I just want the can. But I was telling Tim, I may have some inside information. The deal is, and it's part of the contractual obligation for the venues that are hosting their anniversary tour, they are required to sell the Mill Street beer at all the stops on the tour, and the band gets a cut. And I don't know how much per beer that cut is, but they get a cut of the beer sales, and they're estimating that by the end of the tour, which is only I don't know, 20, 25 dates, something like that.
Yeah.
the band's cut of beer sales they estimate to be in excess of $100,000. Smart deal.
Sure. Yeah.
Good marketing agreement.
That's when you start playing cabarets instead of just sit-down concerts, because you'll sell more beer that way, right?
Exactly.
But, yeah. Say, Daryl.
Rich wants to know if there's a story behind the name Blue Riddle. Yeah, there is, actually. So when they were becoming a band here in 86, there was a country rock scene that was a thing in Toronto, and they wanted a name that was part country but part not. Why blue? I have no idea, because it's not blues, but it's kind of country rock. But they wanted, something country-ish, but not strictly country. So there you go. Sammy Hagar did the same deal with his Red Rocker beer. Yeah, I mean, like, why not? People are going to, stupid people like me that don't even drink beer are going to buy it.
Well, have you seen the cans for Rush?
No.
There's got to be like 6 of them.
Yeah.
I've got 4 of them.
Maiden's got theirs too, right? Maiden's got their beer, and everybody's got something. Simmons has gin or vodka. I can't remember. I don't know. Sammy's got a tequila too, I think, right? So
yeah.
Richard, it's only 3 for Blue Rodeo. There could be a whole bunch of Bryan Adams coming up. You never know.
Yeah. So Daryl, what's up with the M&M stuff up behind you? That's new, isn't it? Or where'd you get that stuff?
Okay, so I've had it for a little. I bought it off of Temu, actually.
Yeah,
of all places. But the big thing is that my house, the back of it, where I usually do my show and all that, it's under construction. So just before I left, they were supposed to redo the back wall and the back door that goes out onto my porch, because it was rotting off the wall, and they found out there's some mold and stuff in it. In 3 weeks, they couldn't get the job done. So really? I'm kind of set up in a different location, because my house, well, the one room that I'm in is kind of a disaster right now.
Fair enough.
But I do like M&M, and like I said, I got these off of Temu, and I thought that it would look good on my wall, and it actually, like, I'm not a huge M&M fan, but I do like some of the stuff that's up there. Like that Encore one is.
Did you see his cameo? Did you see his cameo in?
Yeah,
Happy Gilmore too.
Happy Gilmore, yeah.
He's got a cameo. Yeah,
it was okay. Yeah, Eminem. I'm not massive fan, but I've kind of come around a little bit on some of his stuff, and it's catchy. It's interesting. So he's not as much of a. He actually, you know what? He probably could have made the list, but I didn't. Now that I think about it, I didn't pull him out. Maybe he's going to make the list.
It's funny he talks about these cameos. Yeah. It's funny you talk about these cameos and how Eminem could be a wanker, but the one that always gets me in the whole band is kind of, at least the front singer is always a bit of a wanker, but the one that kills me is when Cannibal Corpse did their whole cameo on Ace Ventura. Ace goes into that room and they're playing there, but that whole band could have made this list.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, without further ado, because everyone has been waiting weeks for us to do this episode, we're talking Wankers tonight. And yeah, I know Mazzy did a wanker. Mazzy doesn't own the word wankers, so just settle down.
That's right.
It's a good term. It's more polite than saying asshole. So
we
went with wanker.
Yeah.
Because we don't like using the word asshole on this channel. So I mean, it's come up in conversation several times in the past couple months about, there's people that we really enjoy their music, but as people, they're absolute dicks for various reasons. I mean, the example that I always talk about is Henley and Fry, 2 of the biggest wankers around. And I think that was probably the impetus for this whole conversation. So that's what we're going to talk about. And Tim is the perfect guest because Tim has met more musicians than all of us combined and everybody watching combined. And Tim has some story about people that were, how would we say, Tim, less than courteous?
Yeah.
Fair assessment. So,
yeah, we'll get into it.
So we're going to have a lighthearted poke at the people that are dicks. So without any further ado, Tim, you're our guest, and you probably have the best stories. Would you like to?
Okay, well, I'm gonna throw this out right away.
Okay.
Because don't let this autograph fool you. Don't let it fool you. But I don't think I used to put this on heavy repeat at home, on Spotify, wherever you go.
Me
You don't
too.
have to say much about the album. The album's phenomenal.
It's one of my favorite albums of all time.
So yeah. So this guy, so I go like, so he was well, Joe would know. He went to the show, I think. They were opening for ZZ Top. But I was going just to see these guys. And so after they play their set, I run outside and catch him coming out. So he comes out, he takes a look at me, rolls his eyes. I'm like, uh-oh, this isn't going to be good. And I'm like, oh, I came here for your show. Like, I'm not even here for the headliner. And he's like, he signs for me. And then I'm like, man, like, I was trying to engage in some conversation, just anything. Just shoot the shit a little bit. I know he's probably busy. He wants to get on his bus. But he didn't, like, I just, from the vibe, from the energy, I just didn't. I left it to a couple of words. And I said, would you mind if I got a photo? It'd be amazing. And he's like, I don't want to authenticate your album for you.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, okay. So that put me off, like, the wrong, like, that just totally. And so I can't listen to this album without thinking that moment now. So
that's a shame. That's a shame.
25 years listening to this album, and now I don't know if I can listen to it anymore. Like, I shouldn't go that far. Like, I still like the music, but yeah, you know what I mean. Like,
I'm sure these guys get pissed off with, there are professional autograph hounds and hand them, 10 things to sign, and I need a picture. I get it. Like, I get it. But what, if I was professional musician, man, Jacob Dylan in this case, so what? Let's say worst case scenario, you were going to sell that autograph and you need what the fuck does he care?
Yeah.
He's been paid for the album because you bought it. He's been paid for the show because you were there. So what? Wouldn't you rather err on the side of caution and so what? You helped out an autograph hound? Mm-hmm. Maybe. Or go the other way and piss off an actual fan. Like, what a dick move.
Yeah. And I even try to, like, if there's, like, tickets, if I have a printed ticket, I'll always put it on top of the album just to shut that door, that assumption. Yeah. And be like, well, dude, like, I see, like, I pay money to see you. I pay your... So call me a wanker for doing this. But after he denied the photo, I'm like, well, would you mind signing this album? And so he went and signed this album, but he wouldn't, like, he totally denied, which I said, can I get my, and he said, sure, I'll sign your album. And I'm like, well, can I get the photo instead of the album? And he just took my album and signed it. So he would not get a photo. But the people that, from what I heard, the people that are from Laval, I guess, saw him going in, and he was so nice and took photos. And I'm like, wow, okay, interesting. So weird guy.
Did they have a shitty set? Like, I mean,
it was like 45 minutes. It was really short.
It was quick. Yeah, it was really quick. I was surprised.
Like 8 songs.
Yeah,
maybe he had to poop.
But I just, I guess if others said that it was good, it sucks that it was bad for you, and hopefully maybe it was just afterwards was not as good as beforehand, or hopefully. But I have no idea if he's got a reputation of being an asshole or not. I mean, a wanker, whatever. Yeah. But I don't know if that's
just for my
and
that's 2 minutes with him. Yeah. But he did a cover. I mean, on the positive side, he did a Tom Petty cover. I forget which one it was.
The Waiting.
Really the Waiting.
Yeah. Well, that's what they did when I saw him anyway. So
yeah. They don't change it up.
Do you remember? Did they do 3 Marlenas? Because they didn't do that when I saw.
They didn't. No.
Yeah, that was when I would have liked to have heard. I was super excited for The Waiting, and I enjoyed the show. Right.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they played a few of the new ones.
Yep. Yeah, which is fine. I mean, the band was awesome. It sucks that happened because that puts takes a little bit of the shine off of it for me, because I was very impressed by them because I hadn't seen them, and it was good, and they did sound good. So that's unfortunate. That's
ZZ was fun too, but
they were. Yeah. You get what you get with ZZ Top, man. I mean, even at 150 or however old they are, but I like Frank Frank, you can barely see him back there. He's playing big ass drums, and
I
there's
know.
just this little head sticking up from behind.
Yeah.
But and then he'd go and he'd have a dart, and then he'd come back, and yeah, it was a good show. So that sucks that it kind of ruined afterwards for you. So
Yeah. Yeah. So that's I don't want to authenticate your album. Yeah.
yeah, and that sucks. But then he signs another one.
But
Like-
then he signs another one. I doubled down. I'm like, would you do a photo instead of the album? I kind of doubled down, and no.
Signed it.
Yeah.
Shitty.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that, man. That sucks.
Yeah.
All right. Daryl, you've been gone the longest one. You want to go next?
Sure, why not?
StreamYard. Jesus. There we go.
There you go.
I know that you mentioned this at the top of the show, but this was the go-to. So we'll just release the cat from the bag, and we'll just go with Don Henley right off the bat.
Get her done.
Because, yeah, I mean, I like his music. In fact, my dad used to listen to the Eagles when I was a kid. For some reason, growing up in the 80s, I mean, Don was a solo artist by then, so that's kind of what I grew up on was Don, and I'm actually preferential to his solo music. Not saying that I don't like the Eagles, but I prefer him and Boys of Summer, or not Boys of Summer, but Boys of Summer and all that kind of stuff.
The End of Innocence is
But
really
yeah, I
good.
mean, just his whole persona and his arrogancy and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I guess it would almost draw a parallel to what you were saying about Jacob. Is just he's not the most forthcoming guy. You know, I don't want autographs. Don't come near me, that kind of thing. And then, you know, I mean, there's just everything that was going on with the Eagles and the band and all of that kind of stuff at the same time. So, I mean, he comes off even today as just a pretentious wanker, I guess we would say. And I think some of the musicians that I'm going to bring up later, especially there's a couple from the 90s that I have, and it's much of the same. I mean, there's no denying that with the Eagles, I mean, they've gone, what is it, gold, platinum, whatever it is. And I mean, Don Henley as a solo, I mean, even doing duets with Patti Smythe and all that kind of stuff. I mean, he's got everything going, but he just comes off as kind of a pretentious jerk. And I'm not sure if anybody's going to be bringing it up. I know that a few weeks ago we had talked about John Mellencamp, but to me, it kind of falls into the same realm as that, where he's hit and miss. I don't know. He's too big for his britches now.
Yeah. Well,
And
you
he
know,
knows
and
it.
there's some albums that I didn't pull because I was embarrassed to say that I still had them. Like, there's some bad dudes. Don Henley's just an asshole, I think.
Yeah.
I think. Like, he's not a murderer, and I've got a couple records that a guy's a
We're
murderer.
aware of.
I've got guys that are a pedophile. I've got one of those, right? I don't know. Well, I know why I have it, because I had it before. Anyway, the point is that Don Henley's just an asshole, and he doesn't need to be. Like, he doesn't need more money. Like, they charge $1 million or something unbelievably ridiculous. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, but seek it out. David Letterman. There was a lady in the audience. Her husband wouldn't go to the Eagles with her, so she asked Dave if he wanted to go. This is all before the show, how they do that. And then when the show started, they were having a conversation, and then Dave goes, "Paul, play a little bit of the Eagles." And the Barbara Gaines, their producer, goes, "No, do not play the Eagles, because we can't afford the Eagles." And this is Letterman still. So, and I believe that they looked it up, because Dave kept trying Paul to play it, and Paul knew he shouldn't. It was $1 million to play an Eagles song, X amount, 7 seconds of it, whatever, right?
Joe, going with that, I think that's what bothers me the most is if we were to upload a Henley or Eagles song right now on YouTube, I mean, it's just a shit show dealing with that. And there's a few others. I mean, there's one that I'm going to talk about regarding a specific situation, and they just went overboard with the whole thing. I mean, I get it. It's a business, and you want money and all that kind of stuff. But at what point do you say, listen, by some Joe Blow putting up Don Henley on YouTube? I mean, first of all, now I'm advertising the guy. That's more
Right.
money in his pocket when you think about it.
He
Exactly.
should
I don't
be paying
understand.
you, damn it.
That's right. Yeah, I know.
You know,
I just don't
and
get
Joe,
it.
going back to what you were saying, that he's just an asshole. There are a few. I was talking with Rob about that. I refuse to own them for various reasons, whether I don't like their music, and I'll name some of them right now. Like I'll never own Jacob Hogard or Headley for specific reasons. I
Yep.
think the guy is just a loser. You know, I was looking it up. He was found not guilty of some, but he's in prison now, I believe.
Yeah.
You know, there's that. I can't stand Drake, and I think he's just a dick.
Yeah.
I know that he's the face of the Toronto Blue Jays and all that crap, but
No, he's not.
I
Fuck
mean,
him.
Raptor.
Raptor.
you know, there's that, and then somebody like if we're gonna go onto the opposite side, if we're gonna, I don't know if we call divas wankers, but in my opinion,
maybe.
the number one diva wanker is Mariah Carey. I can't stand her. Just based on like quotes alone. I mean, the fact that she actually quoted in the 80s that she wishes that she could be like a kid from Africa so she could be that skinny if she didn't have to deal with the death and the disease.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me? Like, who says that? And that's at the beginning of her career. And then she pulls that crap off on the Dick Clark Christmas show. I don't know, or the New Year's show. I can't stand people like that. And it's not that I wank at, yeah. Those are just to name a few, right? And I mean, for various reasons, I'm not going to show them here because I don't own them, but I just think that there are differing levels of wankerism.
Yeah. Well, Henley, even at one point, because they were coming to play here, said, we don't want people standing up at our shows. I don't know if he ever gave a reason, but they didn't want people to stand up at their concert. They wanted everybody to sit down. So I was fucking front row center, and Joe Walsh started playing. I stood up and I just stared at Joe Walsh the whole time. I don't know if I got shit because other people kind of stood up around me as well, but it's like, you don't want people that paid to come and see you, that enjoy you, to enjoy themselves at your show. I just don't get it. But I love the Eagles and I love his solo stuff, right? So it's like I said, at least he's just an asshole versus some of the other people. So, but it is what it is.
Okay, I'm going to go next, if you don't mind. Normally I go last, but forgive me, Joe, for going next, because goddamn StreamYard giving me problems again. Jesus, there we go. Since Daryl talked about Don Henley, I got to talk about his wanker in partner in crime, Glenn Fry, who's also was a giant dick. For all the same reasons that Daryl talked about. But I think, yes, it's ridiculous that they police their music so militantly that, God forbid, we were to sing one line of the song right now, we'd probably get thrown in the Eagles, prison or whatever. I mean, they're just absolute dicks. But I just think of what these two guys did to everyone else in their band, right? Yeah. So when the Eagles started, Fry, Henley, Meisner, and Leadon, the original four. For various reasons, there's lineup changes throughout the years. But halfway through their career, Don Felder joins before Joe Walsh joins, and he's kind of the first real rock guitar player that they had in the band, because Leadon was more, country kind of stuff, and that's why he left, and Felder came in, and then Joe Walsh came in. And Felder contributed a lot to this band. I mean, without him writing the hook for Hotel California, there would be no Hotel California. Can't stand the song, but you can't argue that it's enormity in the, musical landscape. And these two jackasses treated him like absolute garbage. Originally, they all had equal ownership in Eagles Limited. When they broke up and then reunited years later, these two dickheads renegotiated the terms that they would get paid more than anyone else, and the other guys would just be contract players. Well, how does that seem fair? Yes, you're the two original founding members, but Felder had been contributing original material. It's just such a dick move. And then they sue him, and they just treat him like absolute garbage. And they kind of treat everyone like garbage. I don't know if I'm allowed to share this. I won't share the specifics of this story because I'm not allowed to. But suffice it to say, I know someone who's met them, my pal Bob. Blue Rodeo opened for the Eagles. Yeah, you can write that down, Richard. Opened for the Eagles at a big festival in, I don't know, Halifax or something years ago. And each of these guys, not the current lineup of the band at that time, they each have their own limousine, and they come in their own limousine, and you're not allowed to look at them. You're not allowed to talk to them. And apparently we're very abusive to everybody. If you were a sound guy, if you were some dude working for they just treated people like shit. And Jim has said from Blue Rodeo, he's not said it publicly, and hopefully I don't get in shit for saying it. There's one person in music that he hates and will have never wants to have any association with him ever. It's Glenn Frey.
Yeah,
because he's such an asshole. Just they think that they're godlike or what. You're a dude that sings a song. Yes, you got famous, good for you, but don't be an asshole.
a little more peaceful, easy feeling, you prick.
Right?
You know, like listen to their music. It's not like it's even. Yeah, it doesn't make sense, but I still listen to them.
It's two egos that got out of control, is what it is.
Sure. Yeah. And then, well, they're going to come up, but Stanley and Simmons did the same thing to Ace and Peter, right? They took everything away. Here, you just get paid for being in the band, and they replaced them and all of that. But yeah, I get band fighting.
Sure.
But then there's band being a shithead to the other guy. That's
Right.
different. Band fighting is band fighting. That makes good music sometimes. But I don't think any good music came out of what those guys did to the other guys in that band. And Joe must have just said, okay, either don't treat me like shit or I'm just going to leave, right? Because I think maybe they realized. Maybe.
I've thought about this. No, I don't think they realize it at all. But you know what? I think that they're smart enough to know. Joe had an existing career with James Gang and solo before he joined the Eagles. And they're smart enough to know that Joe Walsh is the most popular person in that band.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're also smart enough to know that Joe Walsh is the most talented person in that band. And they're also smart enough to know that they're goddamn lucky Joe Walsh is in that band. Joe Walsh doesn't need the Eagles. The Eagles need Joe Walsh. Right. So, but I also think Joe's kind of like a laid back kind of guy. Like, I think he also joined the band going, I'm just a hired gun. They hired me because I'm a wicked guitar player. And I'm cool with it. I just want to play music with somebody. He seems like a cool, chill, laid back guy. I don't think he cares if he writes any songs. I mean, he has written some for them, but I don't think he really gives a crap. But they're smart enough to know that he's got leverage isn't the right word, but he's got some collateral there that they, you know. And then you look at somebody like Vince Gill. He understands his role. He was brought into the band to sing Glenn Frey's parts, and he's cool with that. Yeah. Yeah. Right. And they understand that they're now just they're performing in a legacy act. Unlike Felder, who was like, I'm not an original member of this band, but I joined this band when we were making albums and I was writing songs, and
Exactly. Yeah. And by all accounts, Walsh is a great guy. Seems like a good dude. So,
Well, Tim could probably shed some light on that because he has.
Well, I was gonna say I didn't want to take away from Joe's turn because I had this out. Because I was gonna wait for after Joe was done. I was gonna say, so I was gonna say, don't ignore who's on the album, but you'll tell who's not on the album.
Who's not? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They were probably all there, and you
Timothy got Schmidt was a dick.
Yeah.
Don Henley was a dick. He was over the top nice. Over the top.
Good.
Like I got to shoot the shit with him for like 2 minutes. His driver was like watching it, looking at his clock, like, come on, like, let's
We
get
gotta go.
inside. But
Yeah.
Joe kept talking for a bit, and yeah,
Right on. Good.
yeah,
It's good to know. It's good to know.
yeah. They all it's exactly like Rob said, like they all come in their own cars, but Don Henley he led the pack,
Of
and then
course.
they brought him right inside, but
Yeah.
the other cars came up on the curb where you were able to stop them or engage them, but Timothy Schmidt just ignored. He just kind of did one of these, didn't even look at you.
And he's the one person in that band that, frankly, nobody gives a shit about.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think they just rubbed off on him or something.
I guess.
Yeah, maybe.
Randy Meisner is 10 times the singer and performer than Tim Schmidt is.
Yeah.
So
anyway, sorry, Joe.
All right, Joe, your turn. Sorry that when you get me on I hate Glenn Frey rant, it goes.
Well, yeah, Don Henley, Glenn Frey together. That worked. This is going to be more of a question than my choice, but do we think that this guy is?
Yes.
Tim, have you ever met him? I believe he falls into the category for a number of reasons, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, so I have to show a Bryan Adams album
Richard.
every once in a while. This is my favorite Bryan Adams album, actually, because it's the one that gets played the least. There's the little shit right there. But I think he falls into this category. Again, mostly for just being an asshole, right? Again, there's guys in here that are worse than just being that. But I think he falls into that. And Tim, I can't remember if you said you had a run-in with him at some point or not.
I did. I had 2 run-ins. I'll let you continue, but just to a picture's worth 1,000 words, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So basically, this is my first run-in with him. So the way he signs,
Oh
he
yeah,
just
right.
writes Tim, like massive Tim,
Yeah.
then a bunch of bumps, right?
That's
This
his
one,
autograph.
I ran into him a second time. Look at this, Tim. And then look at his autograph. He writes right through his arm where you can't see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then that's supposed to be the year.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's the year.
Is that infinity? What is that exactly? So, and I don't begrudge him per se the fact that he's moved out of Canada, but there's a lot of great places in Canada you can live and be a million billionaire. There's lots of Canadians that have stuck around, and I think he still talks fondly of Canada. Maybe I could be wrong on that though too. I'm not sure. But I knew he fell into the category. I just wasn't sure how deep he fell into the category.
Well, if I could share my insight as to why I think he's a wanker.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. And I'll give him a little bit of a benefit of the doubt. I don't know if this is him. Hey, Devin, how you doing? I don't know if this is him directing his people to conduct themselves this militantly, or if it's going on behind his back. I don't know. But he is an absolute stickler, or his people are, for copyright.
Oh, yeah, right. You've mentioned that before, yeah.
So he employs most of these artists don't manage their own copyright stuff. They employ people to do it. There are companies that specialize in this, right? You employ them to monitor copyright violations on YouTube and whatever else. And so he has a company that does that. And they are highly, highly aggressive. So my friend Andrew, who has a channel called Press to Play on YouTube, he was at a Bryan Adams show, took his phone, recorded, a few snippets of songs, was all excited, got home, posted them on YouTube, went to bed. This was on his channel before it was Press to Play. Woke up in the morning, and in the 5, 6, 7 hours he was asleep, he received 3 copyright strikes, not notices, copyright strikes. They're different. Yeah. A notice is just like a, hey, don't do that. A strike is you have a violation. You get 3 of them, you're in trouble. He got 3 of them within, a few hours of him posting it. Woke up in the middle of, in the morning. His channel had been deactivated and taken down because he had 3 copyright violations from Bryan Adams. And he appealed to YouTube and said, I got them in the middle of the night. I will happily take the video down, but you sent me the thing at 4:00 in the morning. I'm in bed.
Yeah.
How can I respond? And he fought it, and YouTube would not relent. He lost his channel. He had like 5,000 subscribers, had to start all over again as Press to Play, and he's making some videos. But what a dick thing. My own self, I naively, a long time ago, had some shorts, or not even shorts. There were videos where, the rumor is you can play 5 seconds of a song and you're fine. That is not true, by the way.
No.
But that's what everyone seems to think. So I had 5 seconds of a Bryan Adams song, and I had a copyright strike. 2 more of them I would have been. Your strikes expire after 90 days if you take YouTube's copyright course. So I did, and my strike was erased. Thank goodness. So yeah, I got a copyright strike because I posted 5 seconds of a song. And you just go, why are you being such an asshole? It's not like I'm not claiming it as my own. I'm like holding up a record saying, hey, this is a song from this. It's pretty good. Someone's sharing something from a concert. You shut them down.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's him directing his copyright people to be that aggressive or not, but he has the ability to make it not be so aggressive. And because he hasn't, I'm going to call him a wanker.
Perfect.
There you go.
Agreed. Yep. Yeah, it's ridiculous. There's all that going on right now with a couple of the guys with their big channels and stuff. And all it is ever promotion. None of us are looking to make any money off of these people.
No.
Right?
No.
But yet you can put up a short that's a minute long and you can play all the friggin' music that you want. And that I don't get. And or there's full-blown concerts that guys have recorded and that shit's up there. So
right.
What does his 5 minutes of Bryan? Hey, look, it's cuts like a knife for 5 seconds.
Right. Exactly.
I don't get it. There's fair use, but is that's not fair use, I guess. I don't know. It's bullshit, but
exactly.
It's lawyers making money, part of it.
Yep.
And anyway.
Yep.
Tim, you're up.
Oh man. Okay. All right. Let's play a game.
I saw that. Yeah.
This is going to be another who is not on here.
Hold on.
And you'll
Let
guys,
me supersize it here.
This is going to be an interesting. This is a funny story.
Hold on.
So.
Damn, hold on, just wait.
Guys.
Just wait. This fucking
Okay.
StreamYard is not letting me toggle pictures tonight. There we go.
Is that Tom? Is that Tom Kiefer on your shirt? Who is that on your shirt?
Oh, it's oh my God, the Lemon Twigs.
Oh, okay, not Tom Kiefer. Never mind.
Okay. Okay. So Rick Allen will sign for you if you show him a ticket. No problem. I had my ticket. Phil Collin will sign anything you've got. He's really nice. Joe Elliott, not so nice. Kind of a diva. He's kind of a divette. But yeah, we'll do it. So I had in this order. So I first got Phil. Then I got Joe. Then I got Rick. Then Rick Savage shows up. Okay. The guitar player. And I'm like, Rick, would you mind signing? And he says, oh, we don't do that anymore.
What?
And I said, Rick, look, the band just signed. And he does he mumbles under his voice, throws his hands up like this and keeps walking.
I would have then said, you're an asshole.
Was I punked? Yeah. So go figure, eh? So
no Vivian Campbell on there?
No, well, I don't. He's not on the record.
Oh, true.
But he's a dink too, because my friend tried to get him while he was in. I didn't.
Well, it's funny because Alex from Beer and Vinyl met him and said he was great.
Vivian?
Yeah.
Yeah. I will go along with because
was he on his own or was he with Def Leppard?
He was on his own.
I wonder if that makes a difference.
Maybe. Yeah. Because I had my little quick meet and greet with them,
and how were they?
Rick was the best for sure. Actually asked me how I was. Thanks for coming. He was really good. Alan.
Oh, okay. Oh, Rick Allen. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was really nice.
Yeah. He's again. And yeah, it's same scenario when I met him. Joe was Joe. He said hello. He was kind of polite. Everybody else was just nothing to do with you at all, kind of for the moment. So, but Alan was awesome. So that's all I really cared about anyway.
Yeah, he's actually really, really very kind guy.
He seems that way. Yes, very much so. I mean, again, it was an instant, quick, hi, how are you? Take a picture. But he said more than 2 words actually to me, not just out loud because I was standing there, which I thought was super nice. So yeah, of the group, I think we had the same experience. So
yeah. So yeah, no, I just kind of walked away. I was just laughing, really.
Yeah,
I would have said something.
No, we don't do that anymore.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, exactly.
But just it was just the way, like, I wish I would have known what he said. He just kind of mumbled, like he, and under his voice, and it's pretty funny. Oh, well.
I would have mouthed off and said something.
I think Phil's a decent dude too, though. You said, right? Like he had no problem. He wasn't too chatty.
Yeah,
he just signed up.
Like he didn't really talk much.
Yeah,
but he was nice.
That's
he was approachable.
That's all you're asking for, right?
Like he actually came to me. I didn't go to him. He actually came to me.
Oh, good. Right on.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Huh. All right, Daryl.
All right.
See if I can get this to work. There we go.
I'll be right back.
Right. So this is kind of a case similar to what we were talking about with the Eagles, where you got a bunch of guys in a band that, I mean, they released, at least in the 90s, some pretty good albums, but the inner conflict in the 2000s where you got band members that are suing each other and all this kind of stuff, and we didn't give the rights to this or whatever it might be, to the point now where the lead singer, who I'm going to talk about here in a minute, he's the Wanker, quit the band. I think it was in 2009 or 10. I can't remember the year. And then he comes back to the band, fires one of the members of the band that had continued with the band. One of the other members of the band goes, because there's two members in the band named Chad. One of them goes, well, at least it's not me. That's the other Chad that got fired. And now the band still exists, but it exists as just the lead singer with the backup band. I don't know if you guys remember the band Live, but Ed Kowalczyk from Live is a complete wanker. He's a bit of a douchebag by every stretch of the imagination, because it's Ed Kowalczyk as Live. Basically, that's what they go now. And I mean, Mental Jewelry, which was their first major album in the early 90s, is a really good album. It's underrated, I think. And then there's this one, Throwing Copper. Secret Samadhi, if you want to buy that one, you're paying like $200 and $300 for it now. And then there was one they did in the early 2000s, and then everything after that, the band fell apart. But they're suing each other, and like I said, I mean, he comes back to the band after quitting, and then fires one of the members of the band, and then they're all internal turmoil, and now it's him as the band. I don't understand it. It's almost like, once again, it's kind of like the Don Henley effect or the Glenn Fry effect, where it's I am the band, or no, you're not a one-man show. There's a reason that there's 3 other members to this band, and you fired them over something stupid. And then the other members quit, and now it's just you as the band Live. That just it's mind blowing to me that this happens. It's not the first time that we've seen this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, even if you just listen to the guy talk sometimes, I mean, he seems like a nice guy, but he's pretty high and arrogant on himself. So I will go with Ed Kowalczyk from Live.
Yeah, I've heard nothing to the contrary of that. And I've seen him a couple of times, saw him with the band, and then saw him on his own. He had one other guy they played, Throwing Copper live acoustic. It was really good. Mm-hmm. It's tough with all these guys, because I think everybody we've mentioned so far, we all listen to. Like, that's one of my favorite albums. That Throwing Copper is a fantastic album. It just sucks that these people are assholes. Def Leppard, listen to them all the time. Eagles,
Yeah.
Don Henley, all that. I don't listen to Bryan Adams, but you guys listen to Bryan Adams.
You do so, and you know it.
I listened to this album. This
You
album is
listen to
good.
it a
Hiding
lot.
from Love. Anyway, like I said, it's tough because it's tough to put the asshole aside. We're saying asshole a lot, but what are you going to do? And then just enjoy the music. And I mean, I got a whole stack of that here that they're in my collection. I listen to them, but I kind of try and separate as much as I can that part from I'm enjoying the music and maybe the other parts and pieces that came along with the music. But
All right, that's fair. I'm going to keep this going here. Okay, I'm going to hold up a record, and I know that you're all going to unanimously know who the wanker is.
yep.
Oh, I forgot about Mike Love.
There you go, Mike Love.
Exactly. Mike Love. Yeah.
I mean, where do we start? I think we can all probably agree, and not just we, I think people in general could agree, that the Beach Boys would have been nothing if not for Brian Wilson, right? I think that's kind of unanimously agreed upon.
Yeah, and if you don't agree with that, you're wrong.
I think initially, I mean, Mike could sing a little bit. He could harmonize with them, and he was their cousin. And so, hey, come on, join us. I don't think they had any idea that they would become what they became in a very short period of time. All of a sudden, Mike is, the singer of a band that is selling, equal to the Beatles, right? So what's Mike's contribution to the band? Yeah, he wrote some lyrics. Okay. I dare say that's not the genius part of the music. Good Vibrations is incredible, but it's not incredible because of Mike's lyrics, right? So I think you got a guy that kind of rode some coattails. Not kind of, he did, without question. He rode some coattails. And he was not a big, when Brian was going through his weird, breakdown and creativity explosion and all of whatever that was, Mike was just like, we got to make some goddamn records, right? Like, I don't think he was too supportive of his cousin as a person, which is, that should be priority number one. But he just wanted to make the same old moldy, oldie greatest hits, which, that's all they do, right? That all they sing now is the hits from the mid 60s.
Yeah.
When you go see Mike Love. And I've seen Mike Love. So, I mean, he's a wanker in that regard that, he has this idea that, he deserves equal credit to Brian. Not a chance. We all know all of, the infighting in that band and whatever, and just coattail rider. And there's just something creepy about him, too. The way he's on stage and, pointing up at all the girls. And he's just like, dude, you're like 70 years old. Like, stop being a dirtbag. So that aside, I mean, just the way he conducts himself in the band, and that he, So
yep, you're not. You're nobody's disagreeing with you. I don't think so.
Right.
Yeah.
Mike Love may be the headmaster at Wanker School. Well, he might be, but the president of Wankerville, I'm sure we're going to get to him at some point in time, and we all know who that is. So, all right. Joe, your turn.
All right. I'm going to do a twofer.
Do a twofer, and I'll be back in a moment when I go tuck my kid in. Just let me.
I'm going to do a twofer, but it's going to be on the same album because one is the guy in the band, that guy, Ike Turner. Yeah. The other is the guy that produced the record, which is Phil Spector. So now we're falling out of the asshole category and into the piece of shit category. And I know I'm using a little colorful language this evening, but unfortunately that's how it's just the best word to describe these guys. And I don't need to say much more. We all know what Ike did to Tina. Thankfully she came through it and she had a career and she did better. And I think for the most part, I think Tina would be happy with her life. From what I've heard, seen, I don't know that to be true by any way, shape, or form. But, I think she got through it. She got stronger. And then, of course, Phil Spector. It's another guy that, man, he produced a lot of really, really, really interesting, great music, but is a convicted killer. Like, I mean, in the end, he's just a shitty person. So it's tough. A little less with him, I guess, because he wasn't exactly the artist. But again, there's guys that I didn't pull, and I've got their albums, and I know why I have their albums, I guess. But then I'd feel bad about having some of them. But this I keep for Tina's purposes, because this is a fantastic song. It didn't do very much, from what I understand. Right, River Deep Mountain High was not necessarily a big hit, but I love it. I listen to it all the time, and it's a pretty decent album. So there's a twofer of on the same album, and I've got a couple more of that. There's a couple of bands that the whole bloody band's just a bunch of shitheads, but they get away with it because they're talented, I guess. So, but
yeah, this falls under the same kind of category, because when I was doing this, trying to do some research, I was looking up Wankers, and it kind of falls into the Chris Brown and Rihanna situation where,
yeah, for sure.
Rihanna's a good singer, and Chris Brown, well, I mean, he's just a piece of shit. We all know what he did. Same thing.
Well, who's the one with Whitney?
Whitney was Bobby Brown.
Yeah, same thing.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. And yes, Record Hound, you are correct. It was a UK hit. I guess I was talking about North America, but yeah. And then there's more of those guys, unfortunately, that took advantage of some very talented women that they latched onto and tried to take them down with them. In some cases, they got out like Tina. In some cases, they didn't, like Whitney, right? But
So did I hear right as I was leaving? It was Ike Turner and Phil Spector?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, the twofer was on the same album because it was River Deep Mountain High. So yeah, Phil Spector. But then the gist was that, again, Ike was a piece of shit, and I got no use for Ike whatsoever. Phil Spector, unfortunately, made a lot of really, really good music and was very innovative, and it was a big part of a lot of music for that time frame. So again,
but was a piece of shit and a murderer.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I know, that's the thing. So
what was your comment on Spector? Because I pulled Spector as well.
Well, that is that, it's I don't know what to do with guys like that. And it is because I can't discount the music, because Tina's on here, and Tina was obviously a big part of that, but so was Phil, right? That whole friggin' song and everything that went along with it, and then the Ronettes and Ronnie and all of that. And yeah, the guy's just shit, but made some fantastic music, like produced and recorded some fantastic music.
So I pulled I have some other Phil Spector, but I pulled this one for a reason. I mean, Phil Spector's a piece of shit. He murdered somebody. I mean, we wouldn't need to go any further than that, but if we wanted to, he was abusive to a lot of people, and he was insane. Like, I remember I did a video a long time ago about John Lennon's rock and roll album. I love that album. Phil Spector produced that.
Yeah.
And apparently it was just a fucking madhouse. Like, there was a day Phil was in the studio shooting a gun into the ceiling, just whatever, and John's like, get me out of here. This is insane. And there's all kinds of stories about that, of that kind of behavior with other artists. But then, I think about, I'm a huge fan of the Crystals. They're one of those sort of Motown girl groups, right? And he produced them. Like, this says Phil Spector's Wall of Sound, Volume 3 of the Crystals. They had a big hit with He's a Rebel, except it's not them.
Yeah.
It's Darlene Love, and he recorded the song with her, but then put it out under their name because he was trying to get it out before another label was going to put a different version of the song out by somebody else. And it was a whole mess with rights and royalties. Eventually, Darlene Love got the royalties in perpetuity, and she's still receiving royalties for He's a Rebel today, which she should. But it's just it's shit like that. I mean, you screwed over some people just to make a buck. Like, what a dick.
Yeah, and involved Darlene Love, and involved other people in the bullshit as well. So
right, exactly.
So, there you go. Brian, how are you?
Hey, Brian, how you doing, man? Welcome.
I was watching him and a buddy, Amanda. That could be wrong. Anyway, they were doing a live stream Sunday night, late 10 o'clock or whatever, probably early Tokyo, and they were talking for a couple hours all about live fish concerts. I was only able to watch about a half an hour of it, but it was very good. And I've said it before, I will say it again. I always enjoy watching Brian and the young lady that was with him. It was a good live stream. So if you don't,
Brian's the king of live. I log in every day, and he's done 3 live streams since
I know
the night before.
I said to Joanne, I said, my buddy Brian's on again, and I said Brian is either sleeping or on YouTube, and maybe driving his daughter to and from school. I think that's about it.
Right. Exactly.
But,
so
yeah.
It's that was Joe's turn, so it's Tim's turn again.
It is.
Okay.
Correct me if I get out of turn, guys. So you know
All right.
me.
Oh, you're doing good so far.
Okay, hold on. Let me.
Here's a nice swift little entry. Okay, so another experience here. So this person I went to see, and it was at Jazz Fest here in Ottawa. Jazz Fest is at City Hall, basically. It's a lot smaller than Blues Fest, that you guys probably know about. So wait after the show, waited quite a while, like an hour and a half. Is she going to come out? No, she's not going to come out. I forget, this is like going back a decade. For one reason or another, they blocked everyone off. Like, they put up barricades just to get her out so that she couldn't engage, didn't have to engage. Out she goes, darn. She comes back here 2 years ago, two years ago, maybe max, and playing at the Jazz Fest again. So we're in the realm of jazz. We tried to get her going in before the show. No do, no can do, ignored. After the show, same thing. Ignored, not coming out. Look, yeah. But the person that was running the merch, I knew the person running the merch at the festival. I'm like, look, last ditch effort. Can you see if they'll do a hand in? And sure, he's like, I'll take it. I'll go to the tent and whatever. They do like their thing, like after their shows, they sign charities or whatever they do after festivals, right? Whatever they do hanging around. This comes back to me, it's signed. So, but never an engagement. Not an engagement. Goes out of her way. Ignores fans. Yeah. Not pleasant, not engaging, not nothing. But on the plus side, well, not the plus side, but karma's a bitch because I saw her topless. So, Daryl, you're up.
Hold on. Oh, no, Daryl, you're not up. Joe, shut up. What? We're not continuing on any further until we hear this story.
It's true. So the way that their trailers were set up backstage, it's facing the river, and the river, there's a road that runs along the river. And that's how if you're at the show, you come out, you go around, you walk the road, and you come to the back where it's like a T in the road, and that's where all the trailers are backstage. And she didn't know we were waiting for her, I guess, or whatever. And she's getting changed like after the show, right in the window of her trailer, like no curtains.
Nice. Awesome.
So you should have yelled, "Next time, sign my album, you
That's
bitch."
better than an autograph, man.
Or just say hi, or even.
Listen, be thankful for what you got, Tim. Be thankful for what.
Oh yeah, like it was a last ditch effort. Like, but
no, I don't mean the autograph.
I never met her. I
don't mean the autograph, Tim. I mean the memories.
Yeah, that's right.
But a funny story to go with it.
I don't know if Music Talk with John's watcher, probably not, or he would have chimed in. I think he got an autograph from her.
No, he was here.
I don't know if she's normally like this, but twice.
If I recall, he said it was a good experience, but that was years ago, apparently.
Okay.
Maybe I'm falsely remembering. That could be, but who knows? Okay, Daryl. Let me supersize here.
So here's this is a we'll call it a triplet, but it's not really a triplet because I'm only going to show one record. and only 2 of the members are on this album, but there's 3 members from this band that definitely, or a pre-member of this band that definitely have Wanker written all over them. And I would actually argue that this band here was involved, at least in the last 30 years, in an incident that probably changed music forever, and they hated every reason for it. And that is Lars, James, and if we want to include Dave Mustaine from Megadeth as part of it too, because he's a dick too.
You have to
all
include
3
Dave,
of them,
yeah.
right? So Metallica in general, I mean, the whole Napster thing, I mean, I understand it. I get it that they're trying to make music and people were downloading it for free. You know, it's probably the maybe for more modern people that listen to music, the younger generation, I mean, they don't deal with really the physical quality of it. And I mean, Napster's the reason I was bad for it, right? In the late 90s, early 2000s, I was in university. I didn't have money for records and CDs. I was just downloading it off the computer. But then, you know, at a certain point, as you get older, you realize that there's more to the physical quality. However, the way that Lars in particular went off on the whole Napster thing, and James went off on the whole Napster thing, I mean, for a lot of Metallica fans and just music fans in general, it turned people right off of them. Once I don't want to call it pretentious because it's not pretentious. It's just an attitude of everybody's screwing them over. But really, at the end of the day, they were multi millionaires by that point. Nobody's screwing them over. They're just moving on to a different way of getting, I guess, media. And I mean, obviously, with the Napster thing, that these companies like Apple and stuff started changing the policies where you had to start paying to download stuff and whatnot. And Napster was taken down, and LimeWire was taken down, and all these, they were all taken down. I mean, but really, at the end of the day, did it really hurt them in the grand scheme of things? They're doing their concerts, they're making their millions. Did they have to come across like a bunch of big whiny babies in the national media? No. And then you got Dave Mustaine. He's just a dick. I mean, even with Megadeth, I mean, he's just such a loser. The way he treats his band members, the way he talks to, just reporters and stuff like that. He just comes across as such a loser. I mean, I don't know what other way around it. I don't know if anybody here is going to show Motley Crue, but I mean, Dave Mustaine kind of reminds me of some of the members of Motley Crue, where he's just an egotistical idiot. And but we still listen to their music. I mean, I like Megadeth and I like Metallica, but after the Black Album, I think that it just went to their heads and it ruined it. I mean, a lot of people will say like Load is probably the last quote good album by Metallica, and then everything else was just monetary for them.
And then, and I stand to be corrected. I never professed to know exactly because I paid a little bit of attention to all of that. But Lars made it about Metallica. It wasn't about the young artists that weren't selling. Instead of 27 million albums, they only sold 26.5, and the other 500,000 got downloaded or whatever. You know what I mean?
I think that was the reason I think that was the reason too that what's his name? I think the last album he did was under the Black Album, the one Jason Newsted.
Yeah,
he quit the band over that. Like they were just being a bunch of idiots.
Yeah,
and basically the sour taste went into everybody's. You got your Metallica fans, and there's the pre-Black Album, and there's the post-Black Album. There's no, we like it all.
Like I said, if and I stand to be corrected, but I thought he made it a lot about them, not in general. Again,
you're
could
right,
be wrong,
right.
But I think it was like you're stealing from us. It wasn't. This is a bad thing for the music industry, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And there was probably some of that, right? But Lars is a bit of an ass. Even if you took away the whole Napster thing, I think they're still going to be in this category. I think they're still going to be in here because and I I mean, I just pulled Dan Justice because, but so that's
some
the
people
thing.
will even say that he's not that good of a drummer. He just happens to fit into a band that
Yeah, a
you
lot
know.
of you're
I'm
right.
not saying he's a bad drummer. I can't drum like him, but
No,
you
yeah,
know.
exactly. I'd take being as bad of a drummer as Lars is, but yeah, exactly. But no, you hear that more often than not. But you mentioned him, so what the hell? Let's just go. Let's go Motley Crue, because I think short of Mick Mars, maybe Mick is a decent dude, and he's not even in them anymore because of lots of reasons. But I mean, you've got Tommy Lee, and that just speaks for itself. You've got Vince Neil, who again didn't really kill a guy, but kind of killed a guy, right? In with the driving. And then you've got Nikki. And again, I really like these guys, and I really like these guys. But overall, these guys, I mean, debauchery aside, there's a lot of that too. But there was a lot of shit with Tommy Lee with Pamela, and a lot of that going on. So it's unfortunate. But what I would like to point out is that I do keep all of the badness and all of the sleeves inside of the sleeve. So you have to have a good sleeve to keep all of the sleeves inside from the album. So what you want to do is you need to go to vinylstorage.ca, get yourself some really good sleeves for your sleazy albums, and it seal it up nicely, and it keeps all of the bad stuff inside until you want to take it out and listen to it. Use the promo code Northern10. Get yourself some good inner sleeves and some good outer sleeves, and keep all the sleeves inside. And there you go. There's them in the straitjackets. Like I said, I'll take Mick Mars out of the conversation of being a wanker, asshole, whatever. But the other three certainly fit the bill off of not just this album, but in general. So, yeah. I think someone finally said to Vince, or Vince finally did it himself, and I don't think he decided it himself. You cannot take people's money and get out there and sing anymore. I think is finally the case. So there's not Johnny Five. What's his name? What's the Phil? No, not John. No, John Five, or is he the guy playing guitar for him now? Anyway, again, he's just hired gun. But Tommy and Nikki are still taking people's money. They're not playing a lot, but they're still taking people's money. But I think Vince is finally done, which is good, and it's unfortunate because they were awesome in concert. They were fantastic, especially on not this tour, but the Carnival of Sins tour. The last time was not as good, and I like their stuff, but man, just shitheads, unfortunately.
All right. John piping in here. Yes, he got an autograph from Nora, and apparently she was very pleasant. He met her during the Come Away With Me tour. Hubba hubba. Well, John, you didn't see her like Tim did, so.
That's right. Maybe in his mind. He's got that image in his mind, maybe. So
I do, and I wasn't even there.
Yeah.
Curtis, how you doing? Welcome. Curtis, you got to send me an email, man. We want to have you join us one night.
Yeah. And yes, Richard, in Denver, Colorado, United States of America, can get 10% off, but you have to use the promo code Northern10.
That's right. I made $11 today off somebody's order. So
did you?
Thanks, whoever that was, yeah.
That's good. Yeah. That's good. Can the Jays play the Rockies again? Can we do that?
Oh my God, that was awesome. I got to check the score of the game, actually. Hold on here.
Playing the Cubs, right? I think.
Yeah, we beat the Cubs last night. And right now the score is, drum roll please, 4-1 Chicago, middle of the eighth. That's not good.
Yeah, no. First team to 70, though, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, we got the second best record in all of baseball, which is incredible. We've been first for like a month and a half. It's astounding.
Scott,
I'm going to a Jays game in 2 weeks.
Oh, I'm jealous, man. I haven't been in years. Scott, how you doing, man? Great to have you on last week.
It was very much so.
F the Cubs, absolutely.
Yeah, that's right. Is that just in general, or because they're playing the Jays? But
I'm going to say it's because I'm playing. In my opinion, it's because they're playing the Jays. So
exactly. All
right. I guess is it my whose turn? Is it my turn? I think it's my turn.
Oh yeah, I went out of turn. That was not you. That was me. Only
that's
because
okay.
Daryl mentioned Motley Crue. So
there's no rules here. It's all good.
All right.
I can just get StreamYard to move the pictures around. Ever since they did a StreamYard update, the toggling has been problematic. So I apologize. Okay, this is an interesting one. I have mentioned this person before. This is someone I've met. I mean, I haven't met as many people as Tim, but I'm going to call Grace Potter a wankerette. When I met her, she was wonderful, pleasant. So I don't know how many people know her or not, but she was in a band called Grace Potter and the Nocturnals, and they broke up in 2012. I saw them in 2011, something like that, when they were touring for The Lion, the Beast, the Beat, which was their last album. Saw her at the Danforth Music Hall in Toronto. Waited out by the bus till she came out. I talked to her guitar player, Scott Tournay, for a little bit. Talked to her husband, Matt Burr, the drummer, just for a moment. And she came out, and there must have been 12 of us waiting, and she probably spent 25 minutes with all of us and took pictures and signed autographs and chit-chatted, and it was awesome. She was great. So why am I calling her a wanker? Because what she did to her band was colossally shitty. So her band was called Grace Potter and the Nocturnals. And I think, and this is just my educated guess by things that I've read posted by the band members, she decided that Grace Potter and the Nocturnals meant that Grace Potter was more important than the Nocturnals, that she was the talent. And I don't think that's true at all. Great singer, amazing singer, great songwriter, although most of the songs were co-written by her bandmates, namely Matt, her drummer, Scott, her guitar player, and her. But they recorded this album here, Midnight, which, notice, does not say the Nocturnals on it anywhere, even though all the Nocturnals are on this record. What happened was, when this record was done, she decided unilaterally that this would be a solo album, and fuck the Nocturnals, they're not getting credit, and she's going out on tour with her own band. And her band, the Nocturnals, went, "What are you talking about?" And they were mad. Some of them were mad. Scott, her guitar player, he posted a tirade on social media. Matt, her drummer, who was also her husband, he was obviously on her side, and he continued on in the Grace Potter band. And so did her guitar player, other guitar player, Benny Yurko, for a little bit of time. But then Benny left mysteriously. We have no idea why. And all of a sudden, she filed for divorce from her husband because, unbeknownst to anybody, she had fallen in love with the producer of this record, Eric Valentine, who's a famous producer. So she divorced Matt, married Eric, and blew up the band. And her music has sucked ever since. It's one of those, and I've talked about it before, it's one of those where the sum was greater than the individual parts. You know, it's kind of like, it's the Beatles analogy, right? They're all wickedly talented individually, but when they were together, they were just better than they were not together. And this is the same with her. And she's destroyed her voice because she smokes way too much. She's fucking crazy as hell because she's on too many drugs. And it's just like, there was an incredible band that was doing something different, and you got an ego, and you screwed the lives of... Her husband was devastated. He moved to Puerto Rico and started a recording studio and has done other than the recording studio. I mean, I don't think he's done much since then. Her guitar player, he moved to LA and tried to do his own thing, and they were visibly upset. It was all over social media at the time. It's just like, you got an ego. What a dick thing to do. So there you go.
Never good. Never good.
Never good. Never good.
Never good when you're sleeping with the producer, that's for sure.
Right? So the only credit the Nocturnals get on this record is if you read the liner notes, they play all the instruments, but no mention of that band anywhere in there. So pretty dick thing. And that's when I kind of stopped being a fan. Yes, I have her solo records, but with each one that comes out, I go, why did I buy that? Because it's not as good.
Mhm.
So very nice. She's very nice when I met her, but it just, you blew up the lives of a number of people for the reason that you thought you were bigger than you were. So pretty shitty.
Is that a gatefold?
It's a gatefold.
I looked back. I don't have any yet.
There you go. There she is.
There
What
she
she
is.
got?
Yeah.
She's holding her Grace Potter Gibson Flying V, which you can buy the signature Grace Potter Flying V, but it's very expensive because they're very rare.
So I'll ask you this: do you think there's any chance of coming back? Like, do you think that the voice is gone, the talent is gone? Like, there's her, but the rest is just never. It's never going to be right.
It's never. Well, I mean,
Why? Yeah.
she screwed over her husband, right? Like that's. And yeah, no, I don't think it's ever going to happen. Her most recent solo album that she put out called Medicine is really, really good because it was recorded when the Nocturnals were still together. It was a side project that she did with T-Bone Burnett, and it's really, really good. But you listen to her voice now, and it's like rocks, like
That's
gravel. Yeah, it's a shame. So, Psycho's Platters, good evening. Welcome.
Evening.
All right. For those tuning in, we're talking Wankers tonight. People whose music we like, but as people themselves, they're maybe not the most wonderful individuals in the world. I think it's probably a good way to put it. So we'll go around the horn again. Tim, you've probably got many more stories. So
well, Grace,
surprise you here.
That was a good segue into this band. And they're going to come up at one point or another, concerned with love ties and this guy sleeping with this girl and this girl sleeping with this guy. And that'd be this band right here.
Yep.
And you can see who's not on here, aside from Stevie Nicks. Well, I don't have Christine, but yeah, Stevie Nicks. Oh, you got one. Hey.
Signed by the same three people as you.
Yeah, well, they're the best. They're the best signers.
Oh yeah.
And when Christine left the band, and then she came back, but when she came back, she wouldn't sign.
Yeah, the only ones you'll get is the album she did with Lindsey Buckingham. There's signed versions of that.
And he's kind of he's half wanker.
Yes, agreed, wholeheartedly.
But yeah, Stevie Nicks. Like, what do you say about Stevie Nicks? Wankette.
Yep, Wankette.
How was Mick? Was Mick cool though?
What's that?
Was Fleetwood kind of cool? Like,
yeah.
I think.
Mick is the nicest guy of all. Like, yeah, and John was fine. Lindsay was a bit wankish. He was kind of tough, but he was reluctant and not engaging at all. Not at all.
Yeah. We got to call out the good guys a little bit sometimes.
Yeah,
right? That's
Mick,
good. That
Mick was like he would have talked as long as you wanted, sign whatever you had, kind of guy. Yeah, super nice guy.
Been there from the beginning, right?
Yeah.
He's got one of the best autographs because you know what it says. It's big. Oh. It's a great autograph. I love it.
Yeah. But no, Stevie Nicks is hilarious. It was just me and my buddy, and even the driver said good luck.
Oh, like really? Yeah.
She was getting picked up, and he's like, "You're here for Stevie, obviously," and we're like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Good luck," and we're like, "Stevie," and we got not even in her name. We got to Steve, and she just ran to the car. Like two people.
I don't get
people.
Maybe I don't get it because I'm only YouTube famous. I mean, I'm watched by tens of people a week.
Yeah.
And 3 of them are you guys. So, there's only 7 other people that watch me every week. Joking aside, I mean, I guess maybe it gets a little monotonous, but if your job is to be an entertainer, don't be a dick and sign someone's autograph. Because if it wasn't for someone admiring you, guess what? You'd be just like the rest of us.
Yeah. But not even, it's not even just the autograph. It's more just not even a hello, not even she even flipped the bird, nothing. Just, you're not, it's just, just this, just tunnel vision. All the time.
What makes you think you're so goddamn important? That's what I always wonder about.
Mm-hmm.
You take a shit like the rest of us.
Yeah.
Everybody poops. Yeah.
Yep.
I like Richard's Tiny Wanker. That's a new Elton John song.
I was going to say.
Wanker.
Yeah. Elton, I think, is a decent dude. I think he's probably had his fair share sometimes, but I think overall, I've always heard very good things about him. Yeah. So,
well, I had a whole DVD collection of stuff from Elton and him behind the scenes, and I guess he takes quite tantrums. Tiaras and Tantrums, I think it's actually called.
Yeah, I'm sure. Like I said, I'm sure he's a bit of a diva.
But it's all work or business related. I don't think it has anything to do
with fans, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. All right, Daryl.
All right, here we go. Here's one that we don't see too much in the VC. However, I think for this next one that I'm going to show, it's his persona. Like he has no shame in the fact that he basically like plagiarized a song, which is his main hit ever. He breaks the barrier for guys like Eminem and stuff like this. The fact he dated Madonna is just crazy to me. But he's just wanker, just from the way he dresses to the way he acts. Ask Robert Van Winkle himself, Vanilla Ice. He's just one of the douchiest guys. I mean, I love Ice Ice Baby and Ninja Go or whatever it is. But I mean, he plagiarized the entire thing. He just took the whole Queen and David Bowie song, didn't even ask them, nothing, just then he's making money off of it. If we want to include a couple of other guys that kind of did that, there's Milli Vanilli. But I mean, he breaks Vanilla Ice breaks the barrier of white rappers, but I mean, you're going into the early 90s with gangster rap, and they hated this guy, and they still hate this guy. And I think even if you don't like rap, you have to admit, I mean, he was making a mock of the entire thing, and he just to this day, with that TV show he did with the rich cars in Malibu or whatever it was, and he had all kinds of criminal charges in the early 90s for stupid assaults and stuff. The guy is just a wanker. And that's all I got to say is Vanilla Ice. Most people hate him.
But Rob wants that album.
I want that record so bad. Man. I've been looking.
Whatever happened to Canada's answer to Vanilla? Remember
Snow?
Yeah, whatever happened to him?
I don't know. Somebody informed on him in a way. He
was he big? Not worldwide? Like, was he big, or was he only a Canada thing?
He was only in Canada.
Yeah, I think if it wasn't, if there wasn't much music, I don't know if Snow would have been a thing. I mean, you can say that about a lot of performers, but
he was in prison.
Yeah.
I remember buying Snow. I remember buying that on cassette tape back in the early 90s on my grade 8 trip. And he wrote Informer while he was in prison. It was about his experience in prison.
Yeah.
But he was just as goofy as Vanilla Ice.
Yeah.
But I don't think on that global of a scale.
I ran into Vanilla Ice at I don't remember what airport, but an airport. I was at a layover somewhere. Just said hi.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. It's my turn already. Okay. Well, shit. All right.
My favorite Canadian rapping is still Organized Rhyme, Tom Green. Yeah.
Okay. I still got a whole whack of these.
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy. Where are we going to go? Jeez. Okay. I'm going to do a twofer. I'm not going to say anything about the first one because we all will universally acknowledge that this guy's a colossal asshat. And I don't need to say anything more than that. Boom.
Oh.
That was Joanne.
You have two Kid Rock records?
He puts the metal rap version of Vanilla Ice.
I have five. I have 5.
That was the first guy that Joanne said when I asked her. I said, we're doing Wankers and Assholes. She goes, you got Kid Rock, right? And I said, no, Rob's going to show that.
Rob's going to show it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now.
Who do you think I'm going to say is the wanker in this group?
Robbie Robertson.
Robbie Robertson.
Robbie, yeah.
Yes. Hard for me to say because I love the band. I love Robertson's songwriting. I love Robertson's guitar playing. But from when the band broke up, no, let me back up further. From the height of the band's prime till about 2000, Robertson was a colossal asshole. He took, by all accounts, a lot more songwriting credit than he actually deserved, apparently.
Apparently.
Apparently. There's stuff Levon said, hey, I helped write that. But the thing that always kind of rubbed me the wrong way about Robertson is in the 80s and 90s, he wanted nothing to do with the band. He didn't want to acknowledge he was part of the band. He didn't want to acknowledge that the band existed. And, you know, sure, you don't want to play with them because they recorded a couple albums after him, none of which are very good. You don't want to play with them, fine, but at least acknowledge that you were part of this because, yes, you're a talented songwriter, and yes, your solo album is good, but your solo album is nowhere close to as good as the worst album put out by the band. And if it wasn't for these other four guys, we would have no flipping idea who Robbie Robertson is. Right? So he may have been a session musician at best, right? So don't be a dick. And he blocked all kinds of stuff that they wanted to try and do. And then I think he sort of maybe had an epiphany, you know, sort of post 2000, where he went, oh, I can make a lot of money off the band because I own the publishing rights. I can make a lot of money, and I can also, you know, dictate the narrative that history will remember. So he pivoted, and he's like, oh, I'm going to remaster The Last Waltz, so we're going to remaster all the albums, and me and Levon are buddies, which was not really the case, apparently. Then he puts out the book and the documentary, We Were Brothers, which, by all account, has some creative liberties to it. He wasn't quite as brotherly as they say. But he understood that, you know, there was only him and Garth left. So Garth isn't going to say anything. So Robbie just he wrote history the way that he wanted it to be written, and he made some pretty strong financial gains from that. But for 20 years before that, he treated the rest of these guys like shit. And that's pretty wankerish, I think.
Yep.
Let's see. Richard saying, Daryl might sell me the Vanilla Ice record for $1 million. I don't know if I'm going to spend $1 million on that. Record Hunt says an ex of mine was in. Oh, it's official. The Jays lost 4-1. Damn it. An ex of mine was into Snow. Fuck Snow. Curtis, surprisingly, Snow's second album has a few decent tracks on it, mostly recorded in Jamaica. He was such a Jamaican poser. He was a white kid from Scarborough that wanted to sound like he was Jamaican. Give it up, man.
And I think that was the whole thing that made Vanilla Ice a wanker too. He was posing as a white black guy. I
think he was posing as a white kid from Miami Beach, driving around in his white Mustang. But still, I mean, I don't disagree. Still a wanker nonetheless. So.
Curtis, is your turntable a TIAC? Curtis, let me know if your that looks like a TIAC turntable in your profile picture.
All right.
That's just for me. That's just for me. All right, we're going to talk about. I talked about Phil Spector, who was not a performer but was a wanker and did a lot of things for music. We'll put it that way. I'm going to talk about another guy that wasn't a performer but may be on the Mount Rushmore, and that is Colonel Tom Parker and his handling of Elvis Aaron Presley.
Good one.
Elvis has nothing to do with this. I think for the most part, Elvis probably had his deals as well. Of course, they all did to a certain extent. But the reason that I brought this out, nice gatefold. The reason I brought this out is because of Colonel Tom Parker. For lots and lots and lots of reasons, it's well documented that Elvis didn't play anywhere because Parker didn't want him going out of country or anything like that. There's just so much shit that I don't know what more we could have got out of Elvis, but I think we probably could have got a few more years out of Elvis if it wasn't for him, at least. I don't know what else we would have got, but if you watch the Baz Luhrmann movie, Tom Hanks does a pretty good job of showing how much of an asshole Parker was, and I don't know how much they get into it, but Rob, you and I have talked about this before. So Parker, Tom Parker, I think.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, thankfully he was there. Elvis would have been a star regardless. There was too much talent in that man's person not to have somebody to have found him. It's just unfortunate the guy that did find him was the guy that then hung on to him for so long.
To play devil's advocate, though, and I don't know the timeline of this, but when Parker kind of lost his control of Elvis is I think when Elvis started to kind of spiral out of control and had his Memphis Mafia and his fucking jungle room with a monkey in it and started doing all the excessive drugs, and you kind of go, yeah, Parker was an asshole, but he kind of kept Elvis on the straight and narrow. So I don't know.
If you stand the coin on the edge a little bit there, maybe, but
Right.
Because there's obviously artists that have been completely screwed over, and then in that respect, you're right. I think overall, I would still put him on the asshole side, but you're right. There was definitely maybe we lose Elvis earlier than we lose him, or maybe we have him longer than we do have him.
Maybe there wouldn't have been a comeback.
Yeah, because he was instrumental in that, a big part of that, right? So but
yes, here's the underlying point. He's a jerk because, as Richard points out, he took 50% of everything.
Yeah, exactly. So, and there was a lot of everything, right? You would have to think there was a lot of everything, and he probably took more than 50 too. I think he took 50 where he legally could take 50, and there was a whole bunch he took 100 as well. So,
yep, probably. Okay, Tim.
Well, this one's a little bit controversial. The wife thinks he's a wanker. So I'm like, okay, well, though I'm reluctant, I don't think he's a wanker, but I can see her stance. So I'll get to why she thinks he's a wanker. But why I think he's a wanker. Now, the record I'm showing it's a little subtle, so it's not a dead giveaway who this person is. Does anyone know this record? Fireman?
George Strait?
No. So it's does anyone? It's Paul McCartney,
right? So
this was one of his side projects in the '90s.
That's a hard to find record.
And you don't he purposely didn't want his name on it and like that. So from a standpoint, I get it because here's a guy who's been famous so long, as famous as you can get. I don't think he probably remembers much of a time when he wasn't famous. So he's been around the mill. He's probably over it. With Wings, he's with Paul McCartney and Wings to Wings, and he's had so many band members come and go, and with all the Beatles crap, trying to be the band member, try to hold them together when the band was done. And then his solo career, he had comings and goings of band members, he's nice when he wants to be, but he doesn't really engage otherwise. He just kind of picks when he wants to be nice. So from what I gather, I see that. So, but I mean, at the same time, he seems like a cool guy, right? I don't know. So I can see both sides. But the only reason why she thinks he's a wanker is because when we went to see him live, we waited around for a little bit, and it was just me, her, and 5 other people at the gig before everyone started doing all these limo waits and stuff for his arrival. And there's only 5 of us, and his guys, his big guy was there beforehand, ahead as he was coming in, I guess, and so he's asking us questions oh, you're here for this year. Hi, Paul. Yeah. And, oh, are you going to get him to sign anything? We're well, we've got solo records and Like, we didn't have Beatles stuff. I just had a McCartney record. And then he's, okay, well, we'll see. And he's coming up to the venue. And then at the last 20 seconds, these dudes run around the corner. I don't know if they're like autograph hounds or whatever, but they seem to time it perfectly. They came around the corner with guitars and you know, very elite things to sign, right? And they called the whole thing off. He was going to do a wave. He rolled up the window, just went in. So we waited all this time, and she's like, really? What the fuck? Like, not a hello or nothing. Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah. So I got it. Just a little bit controversial, but
No,
I kind of get it, though. I kind of get it, but at the same time, the fan in me can't.
Yeah.
What is your guys' take on it?
I had considered bringing Paul McCartney, but I've got a different selection, which I'll tail off on here in a minute.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've never met him. I've never been in that same scenario. So from the outside, it seems like a guy that, you know, does a lot of collaborations, helps people, does a lot of things. Yeah. I've never seen that side, but I also understand that in that moment, that would be very frustrating, especially if you're looking forward to finally getting a chance to meet someone like that and just looking for a wave, just looking for a little something, and then that's not there. So I can understand where she's coming from as well. But I wouldn't think his name comes up often in this conversation. I think there's another Beatle sometimes that it does come up, but there's a lot of different reasons I think that his name comes up.
I just said, oh, what are you talking about tonight? And she said, oh, we're talking about Wankers. And she's like, oh, are you going to talk about Paul? I'm like, no, no, I don't think he's a wanker. But yeah. She thought he was a wanker. So,
and that's fair. Yeah.
Fair. Okay. Daryl.
All right. So kind of tailing off of yours, Tim, I didn't go with Paul McCartney. In fact, I didn't go with any members of the Beatles. But I went with the female one that some people would argue broke up the band altogether,
Yeah.
and that is Yoko Ono. I've only got the Lennon Plastic Ono band, but I think that Yoko Ono, she's out there. Yeah. In my opinion, she can't sing. What John Lennon saw in her, I don't know. But I think that when it comes to female wankers, at least when it comes to the Beatles, I mean, the Beatles for over 10 years, I mean, they had every woman coming up to them and fainting and wanting hugs and kisses and all that kind of stuff. They could have had anyone, and John Lennon goes with her. And in my opinion, she can't sing. And I know that towards the end, I mean, she was part of that inner turmoil with the band. You know, some of them felt that she was taking control over John, and I guess maybe it kind of went that way, and all her hippie ways and all that kind of stuff. And I mean, I don't know exactly, because I don't pay much attention to it. Rob, you would probably have more insight than I do, like what Yoko was doing with John's estate and all that today. I don't know if it's wankerish, but I know at the time the band was disbanding, she was front and center in that scenario. So I went with her as the wanker and the Beatles.
The wanker part for me about Yoko is where she made Julian buy back his stuff.
Yes, that's exactly. You took the words out of my mouth. Did she break up the Beatles or not? I really don't know.
Yeah,
but yet I would say yes, 100%. She's a wanker because of how she treated Julian.
Yeah,
like. John had more than enough money when he passed away, and it should rightfully go to his two kids evenly. But she's treated like Julian like shit for years. It's great now that Julian and Sean, by all accounts, have a good relationship. Very brotherly, and that's great. So, yeah. So, yep. Okay, my turn.
Yep.
I'm going to do two real quick because they're assholes for the same reason.
That's always good. Well, no, not
Ryan Adams, not Brian Adams. Ryan Adams.
Yep.
Let's see. Only record I own by him, There he is asleep on the couch there. This is 1989. It is a gatefold, so let me just do this. This is his cover of the Taylor Swift album 1989, and it's actually really good, and I would argue it's even better than Taylor's version of 1989. But he's a dick because he beat his wife. He was married to Mandy Moore and was quite abusive, and thankfully she got out of that, and she's now happily married to Taylor Goldsmith from Dawes, which is great. But yeah, what a dick. And the other one I'm going to show is a dick for the same reason, and a few others. Delaney Bramlett from Delaney and Bonnie, friend of Eric Clapton's, just a general all-around dick, alcoholic, addicted to cocaine for a while, beat the crap out of his wife. This is their last album, ironically titled D and B Together. They filed for divorce just after this album was released. But he was an abusive drunkard and drug addict. And apparently a lot of musicians that worked with him, I guess there's a story in Bobby Whitlock's book. Bobby Whitlock, who was part of Derek and the Dominoes, just died the other day. And an account of how Delaney just treated him like garbage. So, yeah, what a wanker. There we go.
Don't disagree with either of those. I haven't disagreed with anything, to be clear, but
so it is it's 10 minutes before the top of the hour. Do we want to go around one more time, or do we want to talk about the king of the wankers?
When do I get my turn?
Oh, Jesus Christ, I'm sorry. See, I made it all the way to the end before I screwed up.
Yeah, well, you didn't really screw up.
I screwed up.
You didn't. Yeah, no, you didn't really screw up. So, did you see that Scott's comment there about Yoko? Yeah. So,
interesting. He's met Yoko several times. It's cool to me. Didn't know about the Julian stuff. So.
Yeah, he's also punched Bruce Springsteen. So
right. That's badass.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna do speed round, or are we gonna do? What are we gonna do at the end?
Well, I like
the idea of doing a speed round followed by the biggest wanker of them all.
All right, let's do that.
Let's do that. Okay. So this is just one of, and he's up there on the mount as well, and it is Roger Waters of Pink Floyd. I'm not sure. I don't even know for sure who we're going to go with the king. Well, I think I know who we're going to go with the king is, but Roger's up there. Says a lot of stupid shit in the last couple of years. Said a lot of stupid shit along the way. Him and David Gilmour. Yeah, exactly. There you go. The Wall. How do you take one of the greatest guitar players and piss him off enough that you split up? How do you lose David Gilmour anyway? You got to be the biggest asshole in the world. But anyway, with all of that said, again, I love the music. I loved seeing him in concert. I was torn because he said a lot of stupid shit about Putin, and I hate supporting guys like that. I hate giving them my money, and I hate supporting them. But I hadn't ever seen any version of Pink Floyd, and I wanted to see that. So I tried to block out the BS as much as I could and just go and enjoy the show for the show. This is his solo album, of course. The Pros and Cons of Hitchhiking, which is a very good album. But yeah, Roger Waters definitely up there in the world of wankers, assholes, and dipshits. Oh my! So
okay. John apparently has the lowdown on the Mandy Moore Ryan Adams divorce. She got the house, the condo, a Prius, and a cash payment, and he got his comic books, his Porsche, his pinball machine, and a Cadillac. He should have got a kick in the balls.
Yeah, should have. Exactly.
All right, speed round. Tim.
Speed round? Just a quick few quickies?
Yeah.
All right. Let's do Iron Maiden, Bruce Dickinson especially.
Yep.
Huge wanker.
Yep.
I've shown these guys before, but it's just hilariously I didn't know they were wankers until I ran into them. Remember these guys?
Krista
Berg, Sass Jordan, remember them?
Oh yeah, Sass you said was
like wanker and wankerette.
Right? Yeah, that's too bad.
Yeah, she couldn't even finish signing her name, right?
She couldn't be like she like I said, she she was so flustered after the show, so flustered, and her hotel was literally 50 yards behind me because the venue and the hotel are across the street from each other. And she had to basically just get through us to get to the hotel. And she was so busy at 11:30 p.m. She grabbed the pen, wrote sass, squiggle and squiggle for me. And then for my buddy, she wrote love, didn't finish the autograph and just dropped the pen and kept walking. And then Chris DeBerg was, he tried to leave 2 different ways out of the venue and finally got him to come out, had to intercept us. And I had 2 records, had my ticket, and he's like, oh, I know eBayers when I see them. Give me your one. Yeah. And I pulled this.
You know what? That's the thing, is they should be able to actually pick that out. They should know the difference. But it's tough.
Yeah, he says, I know when I see them, and it's hilarious.
You need to say to them, don't you know who I am? I'm a famous YouTuber.
That's right. Damn it. Here's the link to my channel.
I am watched by tens of people a week.
Yeah. And then I don't know if Rob will spill the beans, but if I'm going to, maybe I'll go see him in a couple of weeks. But he says that Bob Wiseman is so I'll bring a couple of these. I'll see if he signs them or not. I don't know if he would, Rob.
I doubt it, but give it a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bob Wiseman. But why he's a wanker, I don't know. Just
I'm gonna tell everybody why he's a wanker.
Who else do I have here? No, I never knew her personally, but grew up with her. Alanis Morissette. She was infatuated with my best friend's older brother, and she was always around the house while I was playing Nintendo and all that crap. And she got around the house when you were there. Now she's like,
really?
Now she's like, she couldn't be bothered with anybody.
Wow.
Who else? Oh, Engelbert Humperdinck. He was kind of a dick. Yeah. He was very diva-ish, very super diva-ish.
Yeah, you wouldn't think at this point. He was maybe in 1971.
Don't let the autograph fool you. These were very reluctant, okay, I'll sign for you autograph, but didn't want to. He just did not want to be there.
He should be happy anybody knows who the hell he is anymore.
I know. Yeah. As much as I hate to say it.
Yeah. No,
yeah,
for sure.
Ezrin, not the he was.
Oh, Ezrin, okay.
He was friendly, but he was nice, but he wasn't a fan kind of guy. He doesn't like to chit chat. He doesn't like to. As a guy, I'm sure, but I've seen interviews with him, and he seems like he's. I don't know if he's riding off the tails of all these bands. Because he hasn't really done much lately, but I don't know. Those are some quick ones.
Okay. Daryl.
I got 4 or 5 here. So the first one I'm going to show, Billy Corgan, Smashing Pumpkins. I mean, he's the king dick. It's him, and he thinks he is the band. But I also think the drummer, Jimmy Chamberlain, I mean, the fact that he supplied the drugs that killed another member of the band, I mean, that's just wanker to me, as much as he's a good drummer. But, yeah, Billy Corgan, to me, he's been in all kinds of scraps with other musicians out there. Cat Stevens, I think he went off the little deep end there. And not to say that religion is bad. It's just the way that he's portrayed it. He denies that he wouldn't talk to women and all this stuff that weren't covered in garments and all that kind of stuff. But he had to back himself out of some stuff that he had said. From a Canadian perspective, I talked about her a few weeks ago, but Buffy St. Marie, I mean, the fact that she's Italian but was imitating Indigenous people, I mean, that stirred up all kinds of controversy in Canada. I still think that her music as a folk singer, I mean, there's no denying that. Actually, she did get Indigenous people on the page, just in the wrong way.
Yep.
Boy George, I mean, speaking of male divas, and there was some legal crap that he got into that was a little suspect. This next one, I don't know if he was necessarily a wanker, but I think for me, the biggest wankerish thing about him is like a guy like we talked about Prince with Weird Al and stuff like that he just wouldn't come out of his comfort zone, and he was very standoffish. Great musician and stuff like that. But there was just some demeanor things about Prince. David Lee Roth, he's definitely the king of ego in that band. Well, not just the king of ego. I mean, there's a few others that are there, but I mean, David Lee Roth. And this one here, Peter Townsend, I don't know. I don't want to say that it falls into the Gary Glitter thing, but I mean, he was investigated for certain things, and he actually went and said some stuff in the 1970s that if it wasn't for the Who, there wouldn't be rock and roll and all this kind of stuff. And I just think it's pretty egotistical, but nonetheless, still a great musician and a great band. So I'm going to leave it with that. Those are my speed rounds.
Agree with all those. David Lee Roth, we're arguably one of the biggest bands in the world after that 1984 album. It is our biggest album, but screw you guys, I'm going out on my own. I have the greatest guitar player, one of the greatest guitar players in my band as well. Screw it, I'm going out on my own. And for no other reason than he's still taking people's money and cannot sing or perform, but he's still taking people's money. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, so quick, I'll bring this home. I wasn't going to bring it up, but Tim did. So, Blue Rodeo, Bob Wiseman, their original keyboard player, played with them for the first 4 albums. He's a wanker. Doesn't really fit in with the band. He's very experimental, and he's a fucking lunatic when you see him play. Never wanted to be in the band. Was combative, uncooperative, did not give a shit about playing. There's a video of him playing in concerts where he looked like he wanted to be anywhere except there. And they fired him, thank God. And for years, so they fired him, the album after this, which would have been about 1992. And for the better part of 30 years, he's done nothing but anytime this band is mentioned, he doesn't want to talk about it. Anytime that he has, he's had incredibly disparaging things to say about them. Then miraculously last year or earlier this year, the documentary Lost Together comes out. It's the official documentary. And guess who gets interviewed? Bob does, and has all kinds of glowing things to say about the band, and it's all wonderful. And now he's playing shows with their current keyboard player, Michael Boguski, who apparently is a wonderful man. He's the only guy in the band I haven't met. And it's like you shat on these guys and said horrible things about them for years. If it wasn't for this band, no one would know who the hell you are. And guess what? Nobody comes to your shows anyway because no one gives a shit about your music. And now all of a sudden you decide to ride their coattails? Fuck you.
There you go.
Joe.
All right. Let's go here. He's been mentioned a couple of times, and I don't know why we didn't get to him. And this is a twofer as well, because Ginger Baker is arguably just as much, if not more of an ass than Eric Clapton is. So
he's the king of the wankers. You can't talk about Clapton until you talk Ginger Baker.
I was talking about Ginger Baker.
Right.
So, although he's not with us this evening, our friend from the UK always asks about a documentary. There's a pretty good documentary, although it really shows just how much of an asshole and how whacked the guy was, Ginger Baker. I can't remember what it's called, but there is a documentary. For Chris out there, that's your recommendation. I've watched half of Billy Joel, pretty fantastic so far, and no, I still have not watched Blue Rodeo, but I'm just going to watch it, and then I'll watch it again with Joanne if she ever gets around to it. So I will make the promise I will watch by next Wednesday. I will have watched the Blue Rodeo documentary.
All right.
Okay. So Ginger Baker is there. Van Morrison, I think, is a highly regarded dipshit as well, for, again, a lot of reasons. And drinking does not exclude you from being an asshole, but a big part of it probably was the drinking aspect of Van Morrison. Surprised we didn't talk about Axl, although he seems to have cleaned his act up a lot lately. I don't know that back in the day, he was almost king of the hill at the time, but as of late, he can't sing worth a shit that much anymore. But as far as all of the antics, I think he's kind of I think he's kind of gotten away from that. He realizes, you know what? I'm making money off of this, and that's how I'm going to make my living, and I can't get away with it anymore. Back in the day when they were one of the biggest bands around, he could get away with it a little bit. These guys, I mean, Johnny Rotten, although it served them well, and if he wasn't a wanker, there wouldn't have been the Sex Pistols, right? Because Sid was Sid, and the other guys, but the Sex Pistols were pretty much Johnny. And like I said, if he wasn't the way that he was, we might not have gotten the Sex Pistols and what we got out of them. I don't think, no, none of these are gatefolds. Courtney Love from Hole. We didn't talk about Kurt. Kurt might have made the list too, but Courtney for sure, for a lot of reasons. In fact, that she may or may not have actually been a part of killing Kurt. And then my favorite and yours, Mr. Gene Simmons, along with Paul a little less. Gene's kind of the king of the wankers. The other two were drug addicts and drunks, much like a lot of band members. So somewhat deserved the shit that they got, but maybe not so much. And then he brought them back when he needed them, and then he got rid of them again. And yeah, Simmons for sure. And it's unfortunate because, I mean, obviously I've given the man a lot of my money, but anyway, Simmons is pretty high up on the list for, I think, a lot of people. I think a lot of people would definitely talk about Gene Simmons on this list. And a lot of the guys in the comments have mentioned some good ones as well. Miles Davis. Yeah, we've heard that more than often. Morrissey for sure. There's a lot in there, I think, that guys were talking about. Jazz in general. Scott did mention not my Prince, though. So I think Prince was just so weird. I don't know if you necessarily meant he was an asshole by any means. There was just a lot of weird shit that Prince did, I think.
If Lionel Richie was still here, we'd be talking about Gigi Allen in this category too, because he was a king of dick and he was disgusting.
Yep.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, exactly. So, and I mean, obviously, again, this is a category that could go on for a while, but let's talk about the king.
The king of the wankers.
There he is.
Eric Clapton.
So, yeah.
Oh, and mine's
Look, I got this
mine's
one.
mine's a gatefold.
So is that one. This one isn't. So,
have you met him, Tim?
No.
Okay.
have you seen him?
No, I have not actually.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I never saw him either.
I mean, there's a whole bunch of reasons that he's generally regarded as a wanker. I mean, there's political views that, some might say he's a wanker. I wouldn't call him a wanker for that reason. I do not agree with his political views. But, at the height of the pandemic, he says some things that were questionable. And while everyone has the right to their own opinion, when you have a public platform, I think it is irresponsible to say things that could potentially put people in harm. And that's all we'll say on, vaccines and that kind of stuff, because we try to keep this political free. But for me, why he's a wanker is he sued the pants off of a woman trying to sell a bootleg Clapton CD. What?
Yeah.
Like, what difference is that going to make to you, Eric? Seriously. And I don't ever remember the outcome. It was a woman in Germany, if I'm not mistaken. It was 4 or 5 years ago. And I think if I remember the story, and I didn't research this and I should have, she had an eBay listing for some kind of like a live Clapton bootleg or something. And his people caught wind of it and sued her for like $10 million. And you go, you're an asshole. Yeah, there's some questionable legality with respect to selling bootlegs, but it's not like she had a bootleg CD burning factory and she's selling tens of thousands. She's selling one CD on eBay. And even if she had sold that one CD on eBay for $40, why does that justify Clapton suing the pants off of her for $5 million or whatever it is? That's why I think he's a wanker, but I open it up to the panel. What do you guys think?
The question is, do you think that he's always been a supreme wanker, or do you think the death of his son in the early 90s exacerbated the whole thing? Because it's like late 90s, early 2000s, he just became the king of wankish.
It could be. It could. I mean, I cannot imagine. I couldn't go on if that had happened to me. Like
Yeah.
I'm out. Game over. I'm not saying I would. I'm not saying I would, but I just mean from a mental standpoint, I don't know how you carry on after that. I think I would just be checked out, and I'd be like a vegetable stared at my TV. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Could be.
Scott brings it up that a lot of racist comments, a lot of things like that. I think the whole Clapton is God thing went to his head. I think the fact that he was so revered and was a pretty good guitar player, but there's a lot better guitar players out there. But it was the time frame. I think a big part of it, and there's tons of racists out there. He just happened to be a little bit more of a vocal one. I mean, we didn't even bring up, and arguably for me, the king might be Ted Nugent. For me, actually, he's way the hell up there as well. Yeah. And that's a lot of that is the political side that he is on.
And Malmsteen there, that guitar player.
Yeah. So it's but Clapton has, I think, stayed consistently an ass. I think for a lot of reasons. And again, you never hear him doing anything good. I think some of these guys, we hear about at least a little bit of them not being as bad. Not all of them. I mean, most of them are pretty bad for the most part, but have some redeeming qualities. I just don't know that he has much of a redeeming quality. But certainly, I mean, the death of his son if he was an ass before that, I mean, that just would have been kind of the final straw. And I really don't care anymore about anything. No. And I'm just going to really take my filter off, I think, probably, right? But
I agree with you, Joe, that there's definitely, like, with some of these musicians, they might have been wankers at one point in time. You're talking about Axl Rose, for example.
Right.
They and Vince Neil seem to have cleaned themselves up a bit, but Clapton has just gone the opposite direction where he's just getting worse and worse. I would say the same thing with Morrissey. You guys just a jerk.
Yeah. And there's some fringe guys we didn't talk about, but a lot of the times when we do this, I pull from my own memory. I'll go and I'll pick out stuff. But I Googled biggest assholes in the music industry, and Bono's name came up a lot. The guy is, I guess, if you look at wanker versus asshole but he takes a lot of shit because he stood up for a lot of things and said a lot of things.
He's arrogant, right? And he has an ego, and he has done so much for so many people and causes and whatever that it almost becomes preachy, and people go, "Oh God, Bono, just shut up and sing."
Yeah, that's right. Sure. Definitely. Yeah. So that's the thing. But he was on the list a lot. Like when you looked up, he was on a lot of the top 10s for no other reason than, you're right, probably like, shut up. We don't want to hear it anymore. But
I'm going to come to Clapton's defense very briefly. He is the founder of the Crossroads the Crossroads Center in Antigua, which is a charitable organization for the treatment and education for those with substance abuse issues. And he funded that through the Crossroads Guitar Festival. So he's done a little bit to give back to people, but still doesn't make up for all his other wankerness.
Yeah, it's like everything in the world, though, too, right? I mean, a lot of the times we will hear a lot about the time they were an asshole and a little bit about the good things that they did. Again, all of them have probably done some good things along the way, Record Hound Kim Fowley, the guy that was big founder, big former of the Runaways and stuff. Yeah, that dude's a piece of crap too. So
Lou Reed too.
I really like Ryan, and I like everything Ryan has to say, but this comment pisses me off when people say it. They get mad at YouTube because YouTube gave them something for free. You don't want it, delete it. Stop complaining you got something for, not you personally, Ryan. You're cool, man. I just mean in general, people bitch about it. You got an album for free, delete it if you don't want it.
And it wasn't just U2. Apple had a big part to play in that as well. Apple, whether it was U2 went to Apple, hey, you guys want an album for free? Or Apple went, you know what, give us this or we're going to pay you. It was not free by any means other than to us. And no, Sam, you were on the
You were
list.
not on the list, Sam, but we did talk about Mike Love back at the beginning. So
We did.
yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah. The complaint about the free album, that always gets me as well. So
Not mad at you, Ryan, and please don't take that the wrong way.
right. Yeah. No. Because we've heard
We
that a
hope
lot.
you keep. Don't be mad at me. I wasn't directing that at you specifically. I just the comment in general irks me. So not you, man. I hope we're cool.
Scott brings.
I don't want to be an asshole, but I mean, I get called that every day, so it's all good. So
I'm just sliding into my grumpy old man era. Taylor's got her eras. I've got mine. I'm falling into the grumpy old man era.
I'm already there. Nice to meet you, Joe.
Yeah, thanks for coming a couple years earlier than me. I try not to be, to be totally honest, I almost didn't want to do this because I like the fact we talk about positive things all the time and we talk about
I'm trying not to be negative, but this was too tempting of a topic.
But it was. And we always talk a bit about it. So what the hell, let's get it all out in one shot. But yeah, I mean, we're all here.
Here's a guy I forgot that I can't believe we didn't bring this guy up.
Yeah.
True.
I'm just sitting here on my floor.
Again, the thing though, I didn't pull a few others. We all have their albums. We all listen to them. So we're able to hopefully separate a little bit. There's a couple that, again, I'm ashamed to have, but have liked since I was a child, like Gary Glitter. There's an example, and we got to get out of here. But Glitter's a perfect example of, I love that album, The Leader. That's the one that I've got. Rock and Roll Part 1 and 2, The Leader of the Pack, like all of that stuff. And it's just that great, funky, good early 70s glam stuff that I really like Kiss, all that stuff. And I feel dirty when I listen to it, but I started listening to it in my defense, I guess. Not that I have to defend it, but in my defense, I started listening to it back in the 1970s before I knew he was a piece of shit. So if I decided today to start to listen to him, I think that might be a little bit of a different story. If you decide to start to listen to an asshole, yeah, for sure. We talked a bit about him. Yeah. If you decide now I'm going to start to listen to a piece of shit, but that's your opinion versus mine, and I get that. That's a different story. But in my defense of a couple, I listened to them before I knew that they were what they were. So,
no need to defend yourself, Joe. No. I have Kid Rock records, so
yeah, and I do too, right? But I just figured you probably would. I only have one. I don't have five, so
maybe I shouldn't have said that.
No.
Anyway, let's wrap this up. We'll do as we always do, go around the horn and tell folks what you got going on. Tim, concert-wise, you might go see Bob Wiseman, maybe
Bob.
not.
Yeah, might go see Bob.
If he doesn't sign it, are you going to call him a wanker?
What's that?
Are you going to call him a wanker if he doesn't sign it?
Nah.
I would.
From the sounds of it, I think he's a wanker regardless.
Yeah, just say my friend Rob thinks you're an asshole. And just leave it at that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Don't mess with my friend Rob. He's watched by tens of people on YouTube every week.
That's right.
That's right. Daryl, what's going on with you? You back from holidays, so you're going to start making videos like crazy?
From holidays, I should start making some videos. I am going to make a video. I want to start with that. There was that thread that was just done. I can't remember who did it there. Anyway, it's like the Mind the Gap thread. Just because I was gone for so long, I thought it was kind of be a cool segue back in. But I've got a whole lot of ideas on my phone. I thought about even when I was on vacation. I was like, oh, this would be a cool topic, and I typed it in. So I've got some ideas. I go back to work next Wednesday. School year starts early up here because we get a week off in October. I'll be back to teaching late next week. So.
Shitty.
Running out of time.
Joe, what about you? What's going on at the store?
Every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, I am on one of the best live streams around. I won't say the best because there are some other good ones. I will put us right up there, though.
All right.
Alex. Nice.
We were up against Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift streaming earlier this evening, so.
Exactly. So,
that's tough.
Other than that, I got some stuff going on at the shop. probably got a 12 Things That Don't Belong Here coming up tomorrow. I think I'm going to film that. And usually I'm a one taker. I don't edit it, and it just goes up pretty much right afterwards. But yeah, other than that, like I said, happy to be here with our show. And then Chris asked me again. It's just tough in the summer. Once the fall hits, and although I got football in the fall, middle of Sunday afternoon is just tough for me with racing and football and everything else. But I don't think he's taken offense to the fact that I'm saying no, because I want to. I just haven't had a chance to get there yet. So
now we were talking about it. He knows you're busy. I talk to Chris every day, so it's all good.
Good.
As for me, I didn't make a video last week. I've kind of gone to the every other Sunday thing. So I was on Chris, the Vinyl Man. I was on his live stream last Sunday. I'm probably going to be on it again this Sunday. So that's always fun. I'm working on the summer vinyl tag that's floating around out there. It's kind of a tough one, so I'm working on that. That's probably going to be the next video. We'll see. That's it. Gentlemen, that was a lot of fun. We've been thinking about doing this for a few weeks. Tim, thank you for being our guest. Your stories are great, man. So we love having you on. And this was absolutely one of the most perfect topics to have you on. So thank you for joining us.
I have one quick question. Who on this panel owns a little piece of Elvis Presley clothing? There you go. That's a story for a different time. I was just looking at the box set. This box set does not include a piece of Elvis clothing. So
I have one. I do.
Tim, pleasure to see you, my friend.
Yeah, you
I
too,
really
Joe.
hope if they get 2 good headliners, 3 would be perfect. I'm in Ottawa next year for sure for Blues
Right
Fest.
on.
I've already
and Folk Fest is not enough to draw you this way, eh?
Well, yeah, probably, because I want to come and see Ottawa on its own as well. Like I want to go to the shows, but I want to explore the city a little bit more too. So maybe, but like I said,
Morrison's coming.
if they give me 2 or 3 headliners next year, I'll be there for sure because I loved it. It was a fantastic show and place, and I want to come see it. So
yeah, Blues Fest is you can't with the on the right year you can't go wrong. Yeah.
All right, guys, we'll wrap this up. To everyone watching with us tonight, thank you for joining us. We love chatting with you. For those who are going to watch this later, thanks for spending a couple hours with us. Tim, we'll have you back again soon. Check out Daryl, the Northern Vinyl Guy. Joe at we'll go with On a Vinyl. How's that?
sure, yeah, that works.
We'll be back next week with something else exciting to talk about. So have a good night, everybody, and thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like and subscribe.